Hello, hello. Hey, Atomic. Anim is planning to do very little work today, but we'll see how that goes. Today marks the end of the content embargo for Skeleseller for influencers, meaning they can now cover the game on YouTube/Twitch. In fact, Yagamoth is streaming it right now. Let's link to Yagamoth's stream. I have not actually watched this. I didn't even realize he was live until just now. Otherwise, I would have been watching it. Hey, catch up. Hey, Blob. No work day. I mean, it's still a work day. It's just not much. And yeah, task number 1 is to go investigate Carson's save file and figure out why it might not be working to get an achievement at least. Download. Okay, so here's their save file. Should be easy enough to figure this out, I hope. Actually, I kind of want to pop into a stream and just say hi. But I'm currently streaming at the moment. What's anyone saying? Okay. It's still pretty early on in the run. He's only been streaming for 30 minutes. Yeah, that's exactly the 30 minutes I was getting ready for. Hey, Athletics. Okay, so I downloaded this save file. Let's go take a look. Home downloads. Save.json. This is probably it. Oh, catch up. Thanks for the gifted sub. Very, very nice. And hey, Zephyrus. After buying the game, can we continue with the progress from the demo? You should be able to, as long as you played the demo after, I think, February 11th. Otherwise, you need to just copy paste the file to some other part of your file system. And I have the instructions for that online if you need them. But if you played after February 11th, then it should just be automatic. So like, played the demo yesterday. Yeah. Then it should work. And if it doesn't work, we have a big problem. Yeah, on Mac, yeah, it should be fine. Okay, so somewhere we have adventurers in here. Yeah, here we go. Adventurer class. Adventurer class. Huh. They did only have the 2, which is all that it should have taken for this to work. So maybe when you load from a save file, it doesn't work. Let's go clear out my achievements. Reset all stats, playtest. Okay, there you go. Hey, Carson, I'm just looking into your problem now. And nice of yours. Hey, Goose. Bagged a job today. Congrats. Good day today. Now chilling code. Spread the love. Yeah, I really appreciate it. And yeah, that's really nice to hear. Hey, TJ. Okay, so this achievement happens when you beat the final boss. Let's just load up the save file first. How about that? Let's start with that. We'll probably get some achievements just by loading the save file, but we won't get the one for beating the game. Although this probably already has the final boss beaten in the save file. Let's load this. Oh, hey, no, I got the achievement as soon as I loaded this. That's weird. Hey, Sinistella. And thanks for the sub. Oh, catch up. 5 gifted subs. Thank you. Yeah. Wow. That is very generous. I really appreciate it. Carson, if you're here, so can you tell me what version you're on? What version are you on? And yeah, it shows at the bottom left of the title screen or the pause screen. And then like, can you see if the achievement is showing on your Steam profile? Yeah, thank you very much, Ketchup. I'm not sure if Carson's still here. Beijing. Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, you're on the playtest version. Okay, that's why. Okay. So here's what happened. I think you're one of the only people who reached out to me and asked for a release key. So I thought you were playing on the release version. The achievement's not in the playtest version, I think. So that's the only problem. So if you just load up the game, well, I guess you need to copy paste your save file over, which you already have now because you know how to do this stuff. But yeah, okay, so this is not an issue as far as I'm concerned. 0932 came out probably long enough ago that I just didn't have the achievement in the game. Hey, Maya. I'm going to go check just to make sure, but I think that's the problem. How do I check this? I got to go to Steam and find out when that version is from. From to do to done. Yeah, well, yeah, in this case, thank goodness, I think it's something pretty easy. Because I just tested all this stuff yesterday. And I did make an assumption about what Carson was playing, which I shouldn't have done. Build. February 26th. Yeah, I don't think we had the achievement in the game back then. And I'll double check that over here. What do we call this? Achievement data. And then just blame this line. This was, yeah, last week. Okay. Yeah. So the achievement is listed on Steam, but the code doesn't have the ability to trigger it. Because no one was playing the playtest version, so I didn't feel like updating it because it just takes me like 10 minutes. And like I said, for you specifically, you're like the only playtester who got a release, well, who asked for a release key. Everyone is entitled to one on the playtest. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's fine. However, while we were talking about this yesterday, it made me realize that we probably should change the achievement a little bit and make it easier for if you go all in on the rogue. So right now the Yeti has, how does this work? The Yeti has Yeti attack, which does it in 4.5 seconds. And then it also has something that slows you down. What's that called? Frozen debuff? Here it is. How does this work? I don't know how this works. Oh, force add active ability cooldowns. +2. Okay, what does Cloak of Shadows do? It's 5, so it'll be 7 seconds. Okay, yeah. This is kind of the problem. I wonder if we like hard code something here for Cloak of Shadows. I kind of want to do this. Hey, Leap Your Girl. I heard along to get my computer. I'll get scared to ask for the game. For being your playtester. Skeleseller, I hope, okay, first of all, I mean, joke aside, do you want a key? I'm happy to share one with you. I don't want people to have to buy it if they like play tested and helped out. And my only real requirement was that people actually like did something, and you definitely did something. There were some playtesters who signed up and then never sent a single message, in which case like I wouldn't send them a release key because they already pretty much got the game for free and did nothing. And by the way, I'm not throwing shade. I'm saying that if someone like came out and was like, oh yeah, I'd like a release key, and I look through their message history, I'd probably be like, well, sorry, but like this was a playtest for a reason. Also, there were only a few keys. Okay, yeah. So here's what I'm thinking. We put some code in here, and we just check something like if active ability.id is equal to ability id.cloak of shadows, then we set its cooldown to exactly 4.4. This is really dumb. I should change it to be Yeti attack. All abilities or wait, how do we get this? Yeti attack data cooldown? No, cooldown doesn't exist there. I think we need to fetch it on an instance of this, right? Yeah, we do. All abilities there is no get cooldown. There's a create or something, right? Yeah, there's this. Hey, a hype chest. Wow, a new emote. Choo choo. People got playtest keys just for playing and feedback. That's news to me. The playtest keys were for helping test mostly what we called challenge mode back then, but it was bone mode and it was like the new story mode that we had. And I said this a few times on stream, and I said it on Steam as well, but it wasn't like very widely advertised because once we had enough people, I just had like a waiting list that I never ended up using because we didn't need a ton of people to play through. It's mostly just like, were there any problems as people played? I don't know what's a hype chest. So a hype chest is when you do enough like monetary actions on Twitch. So like subbing, cheering, that it will start some like multiplier. And then when it's all done, it gives out emotes to people. So yeah. All right, yeah. How do we get the cooldown of a random ability? All ability. Is there a get? There's get display name. How does that work? Yeah, this stuff. How do we just... There's create ability. Okay, that's probably what I want. Yeah, because there's no like get cooldown from here. All right, create ability. Ability ID Yeti attack. Dot cooldown. Oh, come on. We can't do that? It's got to be an active ability, I guess. Dot cooldown minus 0.1 F. Okay, but there's got to be one other piece of code here. We've got to check to make sure that the enemies only contain the rogue and the mage. Okay. It was so worth changing my alarm sound. One of those platforms is 2008. Yeah, the hype chest thing is as of the last somewhere in the last like couple or few years. All right, so we got to check this. We don't have the battle system here. We'll just pass it in. Battle system. Bool is on achievement run equals is on achievement run. Yeah, I guess we need the entity for this. No, wait, we don't probably. This is kind of crazy what I'm even doing here. I'm not sure if I should continue to do it, but okay, so battle system, get team, get battlers by team. What is going on? Did I not write a function for that? I have get allies, get enemy targets, get friendly targets. Huh, I don't have anything that does that. Okay, well, fine. We'll just pass in the entity then. Node entity. Or like Yeti. Yeah. All right, so get enemy team of the Yeti int.max value. Is that how we do this? How does what targets everybody in the game? Fire barrage. How's that work? Yeah, nice. That's how it works. Okay. So now what we do is we check to see if there are only two. And this is going to be like I don't know. Like player entities. So if player entities.count is greater than 2, just return that you're not on an achievement run. Hey, Jangtron, I don't think I've seen you in a long time. What's up? No, I have seen you. But on the 6th. Well, before that, it was a pretty long time. Anyway, how's it going? So now we got to figure out if you have just the rogue and the mage. This is a little bit harder to do. How do we do this? No more gaming? No more playtesting, I think. I think we've done enough. So now we're going to just work on some issues. And the issue we're working on right now is something that's kind of silly. Like, there's an achievement for beating the game with just the rogue and the mage. The problem is that you really have to put all of your efforts into the mage, but the game doesn't tell you that. And it's kind of stupid that it doesn't tell you that. So I think we should just make it easier if you pick the rogue. Really ready to dive in the game? Yeah, thank you. By the way, it really helps if people who play on Tuesday leave a review pretty early on. So if you play for like 30 minutes or an hour or something, whether or not you're liking it, feel free to review it. You can say, yeah, this game sucks or whatever. It doesn't matter. Just having a review on Steam is really important. Okay, so how do we check this? I guess this isn't that hard. We just see corresponds to adventure components CTA, or like C equals get component or null. So if C is null, if C is null, then we would just return false. If C.adventurer, it's an actual adventurer, and this is kind of nuts. Get class is not equal to the rogue. Oh my god. Adventurer class equals that. Get this. Cool. And it's not equal to the mage. Then return false, otherwise return true. Okay, I think this is everything. Got something during release time. Oh, yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah. A lot of red in your color scheme always makes me a bit anxious. I never customized the color scheme beyond just picking this one. And yeah, if I were to go back in time and pick a different one, maybe I'd pick something that doesn't have red in it. But at least all the colors that are here are very distinct. So like, at least for me, because I'm not colorblind, but yellow, red, blue, purple. This is kind of orangish. Strings are green. So it does make it easy at a glance to tell that these are different, even if the colors aren't exactly what you might want. And that at least is pretty appealing to me. Okay, so if you're on an achievement run and the active ability is Cloak of Shadows, hopefully this works. We have to go test this. Okay, so we have an achievement in the game. Cref equals achievement data dot. Why isn't it auto completing? Because it's in Steam? Yeah, there we go. But now I want to go fetch what? Achievement ID? Okay, I don't know why it's not doing this. Does that F12 me over there? No, it doesn't. Maybe we could do it this way? No. What am I missing? What am I missing? I don't know. Huh. We can get to achievement data. Oh, interesting. It's not in achievement data. It's just steam.achievement ID. Okay. Which requires that you beat the game using only the rogue and mage. However, the Yeti is kind of a brick wall for that run. And it's even worse if you put all of your treasure into the rogue, since they never get a chance to use Cloak of Shadows, which would let you dodge, which would dramatically improve your chance of success. As a result, maybe we should put all this stuff into its own function over here. I don't know. As a result, we fiddle with the cooldown of Cloak of Shadows to allow it to work before the rogue gets auto-killed. Can get auto-killed. Okay, I think this will work. Let's go try this. This is going to be a little bit of a challenge to test because we want to... Oh man, if only I knew what level I was at when I was playing this the other day, yesterday, I guess. I could go watch the VOD, but it'd be kind of annoying to find. So let's just make up a level. In fact, actually, we already have Carson's save file, so let's just load that up. And then we have, what's that thing called? The item tracker. I don't remember what it's called. Processed. That's it. Here it is. This is, man, this is Carson's save file. Got like 1,200 rogue items and 1,200 mage items. Okay, so now we got to go find adventure. No, not adventure class. Item data. Yeah, so 131 and 81. 131 is the rogue. Okay, so we're gonna make the rogue more powerful than the mage. What level is the rogue? I don't know what 1,200 corresponds to, but it's probably pretty high. Load game. That's weird. That's weird. This is not correct. Oh, this is my downloads folder. Oh. I need this to be in my other folder. Whew. Hey, Magnus. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think people will appreciate this if they're doing the achievement run, and they probably won't even know that this is what's happening. And you could technically exploit this, so I should probably make sure that you're in story mode. which we can't figure out from here. Yeah, well, technically fine. Then you can exploit this in bone mode too. It's not a big deal. All right. So what level? Oh, wait, no. Carson said that they cheated. So then, yeah. Hey, Pressel. This is very choppy sounding. All right, so level 255 and 259. Let's go change that. So 255, 1200. We probably want to set this down to like 50, which is roughly 250. And whoops, that's not right. This one's 250. And then this one would be maybe like 100. So now when we load, the rogue is going to be a higher level than the mage, 57, and this one's 27. Now, if we were to just throw them into battle, what skills do we have here? Yeah, so if we throw them into battle with these skills, they probably will lose, which we can't even do because we've already beaten them. But now we haven't. So we go fight over here. Yeah, nice. All right, so here's the battle. They are almost certain to die. That did not seem to work. They should have cloaked right before that, and they didn't. Why not? Maybe this code isn't getting hit. Hey, Irad, 5 days. I know. I'm starting to feel a little nervous. Okay, so here we go. Are we on the achievement run? Does it know that? It says false. Oh, so then this is failing. Well, let's just go try that. Wait, this got hit again? That's not right. Oh my god, it's every time an enemy is added to battle? Oh man. Current wish list amount, it hasn't really gone up by very much. I think today, hopefully that'll change. But yeah, it's about 12,500. Yeah, 12,618. So in the last week, it's gone up by about 600 wish list. That's like what Next Fest was. So yeah, this is not too crazy for me. I like Jason Piles. Yeah. Never really liked YAML, but I've never really taken the time to get used to it. Jason, I think, is very easy to get used to. Okay, so I understand what's going wrong here. And I mean, technically, yeah, I didn't mean to do this. And this is, yeah, this is overkill. So let's go change this. This should only happen when we're going to initialize the battle system. Override, battle, initialize. Here we go. When does this get called? Called once at the very beginning of battle. That does not help me. Right there. Initialize, for instance. It's called after all of the initial battlers have been added. Okay, that's more helpful. After all of the initial battlers have been added, but probably not summons. Create player battlers. The spirit caller does something. They call summon, don't they? Summon snake. Snake spirit. Summon. Oh my god. All right, summon spirits. Here it is. This calls into... Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so we gotta go back to effect. The spirit caller summons also get this called directly through summon spirits dot summon spirit. That is not turning yellow, so that's not going to work. Active abilities? I don't know. All right, let's look it up. It's passive. Nice. Cool. So we put this in here. And here's where we go change. This is so very bad. Yeah, we got to get rid of everything I put over here. We don't need the battle system anymore. Delta, we don't need. If it's an active ability and you're on an achievement run. So if you're not on an achievement run, if not is on achievement run. In fact, we don't even need a Boolean for this. We can just do this. No, it doesn't really matter. Return. So just don't do anything. So now we don't need this here. So then we can merge this with this and then delete that. Okay, that's a lot nicer. And then as soon as we find this, we can just break because we have nothing else to do. But we're not done yet because we need to find the rogue in the first place. Yeah. And that's a little bit annoying to do, I guess. Node rogue. We need the... Oh, this doesn't have the entity here. Why is this not... Oh, it's captured? This is an effect. So then we can just type it entity, right? Affected entity? Yes. Okay, so node rogue equals... We got to go find the rogue. I guess let's set it to null. And then down here, if rogue is null, return. And then this is on the rogue. And then we just need to go through all of this. I wonder if there's a way in the battle system to get an adventurer specifically. Get adventurer from entity. This would work. It would cut out some code over here. Because we could just do something like, oh, this doesn't really matter. I'm not going to do that. So we need the player entities now, which is how we get this here. And we should probably only fetch this once. But yeah, this takes affected entity. Okay, so if C is not null and that class is the rogue, set the rogue and break. Cool. Hey, Corpsey. I like that video. Did you really, that really cost less than $10? I feel a little bad if it cost more, although I know you know what you're getting into. But yeah, I shared with my friends. They were all cracking up. It did, yeah. So my friends were surprised about that. And I'm like, well, I think this is probably how he spreads the word about his YouTube, because it's like he makes a bunch of clips that people are inclined to share. And then people will sub to him and he'll hopefully get more money back as a result of it. But yeah, I hope I laughed. I thought it was pretty funny. And now the Windy community has another meme, all thanks to Corpsey. Okay, so I don't like everything that's happening here. This should go up here. To allow it to be used before the rogue gets auto-killed. All right, I want to clean up this code. I think this is kind of like trash tier code, but let's see if it works. Reminder in the today command is a link to Yagamoth stream. Yagamoth is playing Skeleseller right now for the first time. I really want to watch it. I'm going to watch the VOD at the very least. All right, so we should see the rogue cloak first. They might die anyway, but they should at least cloak first. They did not. Oh, why, oh, why, oh, why is this happening? Is on achievement run is true. Okay, good. So now we go find the rogue. There are only 2 of these. So it's either this one. It is not. But that means that this has to be the mage. Yes. Or it's the next one. So let's just skip down to here. So this should not be null. Good, it is not. So now we go down to here. We get their abilities. We go through all of these. There should be 3. There are 8. Oh, yeah, right. Okay. But anyway, Cloak of Shadows is one of them. So there it is. So now we go down to here. If ability is active ability and ID is Cloak of Shadows. In fact, we don't even need to check if it's an active ability. We can just check its ID. But then we set the cooldown here. What's wrong with this? This should be like 4.4 or something. It is 4.4. What's happening? I think it has to do with how active ability works. No. No, wait. There, time elapsed. How does time elapsed work? Does it start at cooldown? It starts at 0. And it's ready to be used if it's greater than or equal to cooldown. Hey, Fernando. How are you? Nervous for the launch? I'm a little nervous, yeah. I think it started hitting me because today is the end of the embargo for people to play the game. And that means that people are going to start making some videos on it. And I don't know how it's going to be taken. But if today goes pretty well, then I might feel better for Tuesday. I'll probably still be a basket case, though. I'm checking compulsively for Skeleseller videos. There's a particular influencer who said that they would... Oh, hey. Bellheart's also covering it now. Nice. Oh, wow. And Idle Cub covered. Oh, man. Okay. This is big. This is really big. Idle Cub has a lot of subscribers, and he really liked the demo, and he just made a 3-hour-long video. I am definitely going to have to watch this. I asked Velhart for permission to restream his stream, and he gave it to me. So we could watch Velhart's stream. But yeah, I'm going to be watching a lot of Skeleseller content. Am I following Velhart? I should be. Yagamoth's playing it right now. I've been following Yagamoth for years. Velhart. Yeah, there we go. Selling skeletons from my Skeleseller and Skeleseller. Obligation to inform you that I have obtained this game key for free. Yeah, so if I wanted to, I could watch Velhart's stream on my stream. I might actually do a little bit of that because I've never done it before, and I've never actually... Yeah, I'm always like, well, I'd have to ask for permission, but this time I did. Yeah. Wow. Well, today's going to be an interesting day of watching Skeleseller. React streamer time. The streamer doesn't know how to play the game. Yeah. All right. Well, that should definitely help. Also, we should see in almost real time, although this doesn't update in real time, but the number of wishlist rising. So right now it's at 33 editions. If we refresh, it's probably not going to change at all because it doesn't update except for like once every hour. But the next time we look at this, it's probably going to be a much higher number. And that is not because of my doing. And as long as we're on this, let's take a look at this. I want to see where we are on popular upcoming. And yeah, that's a load off my mind. Ten streams. All right, yeah, there we are. Nice. So we're rising up the list. Skeleseller is now number 32. It's a good number wishlist. Yeah, I think it's good. It's good. I think that if you... I'm not going to go into this a ton, but just based on how much I would have made at a minimum wage job, the like break-even point would be 8,500 sales. So 12,000 wish lists turning into 8,500 sales is like practically unheard of. But it is usually indicative that you generate more interest. So like if it was just these wish lists and that's all we had, I think it would not end up working out. But yeah, I think it could be fine. Okay, so why is this not working? Because we are setting the cooldown of this. And then Cloak of Shadows should get used and just isn't. I don't understand why. The Yeti attack is set to 4.5. Okay, how about this? Let's just... what do we do here? What's the usual ratio? I'm not sure. But yeah, it's generally less than 50%. I think people tend to quote somewhere in the like 10 to 30 range. But I don't remember the timeline for that. It's like X% will convert at launch, and then Y% will convert within the first year. I mean, this is true of any stat ever, right? Because these could both be 0. But yeah, I think the 10 to 30% is maybe the at launch number, and then you maybe expect a little bit more than that within the first year. All right, well, it looks like we're doing this properly, so I'm not totally sure why. I guess we can just look at active ability and where we change the cooldown. Yeah, here. So let's put a breakpoint here. Let's just print out the ID. X out of those things and print ID. This is Fireball. I don't care about that. This is Lightning Zaps. Don't care, don't care, don't care. Don't care. And there, I care about this one. Okay, so now the cooldown should be 4.4. It's 6.4. Aha. Because I'm doing this in the wrong order. Well, that's very easy to fix. So enemy added to battle is called after we initialize? That seems wrong. This will be passive income going forward. Yeah, definitely. The way I look at this, at least from a monetary perspective, is I think that the target is going to be like more than 20,000 sales, which I think is a lot. So yeah, that's very tough. So you could technically get passive income from making a Steam game and then getting like 1 sale per year. You know, might work out to $1 per month or something. That is still passive income, but it wouldn't mean it's worthwhile. So yeah. The other way that Steam sales work is that they're generally very spiky. Like you'll have, if you have time and you have sales over here, it'll be like something shoots up at first at launch and then it drops down and then there's a sale and it spikes up again. And then like, it'll just keep dropping lower and lower each time. You know, a festival happens and something else. So it's like these spikes are where you're going to make the majority of your money. And then, yeah, the passive income is going to drop down to like, you know, a few sales per week, maybe something like that. Depends on the size of your game. And that is still something. Okay, so this part I don't understand. We call initialize. Let's restart this. We call initialize and then we call enemy added to battle. After that, that doesn't seem right. So there's initialize. Now we put a breakpoint here. Huh, yeah, why is that being called? Then one day a big streamer picks it up and you get like 20,000 sales in a week. Yeah. I think, so that can happen. And I think it's tough for that to happen because someone would need to probably put it on the streamer's radar because they already have so many games that they have on their radar and that they want to play. All right, so we call setup systems and then battle system init, run on entity, run on enemy added for beginning battlers. Yeah, this is done afterward. Interesting. I guess so that we can... Okay, so it just so happens that we add the Yeti first. But then why was that call from initialize not good enough? Because we didn't have all the effects in place? Oh, maybe this is already being done? Huh. ECS.debug print info new enemy. Is this the rogue? No, this is the mage. So then this has to be the rogue. Yep. So this is the rogue. So yeah, I'm not totally sure I understand like why did this not work? All right, well, let's go down to here. And then here. The ability here is Quick Strike. Don't care about that. So this one has to be Cloak of Shadows. Its cooldown is 4.4. So we're just going to not change it. Active ability.cooldown equals 4.4. There we go. So now we play the game. And now we should see Cloak of Shadows go off before the rogue dies. Yeah. Why didn't that work the first time? I understand why it's happening now. I just don't understand. Yeah, this all should have been done over here. And I had code for this too. It's going to be annoying because I got to retype it all. Man, I really want to watch those videos. Okay, so put in the battle system here. Then we got to go put this stuff in. So it doesn't matter that this happens from initialize. We're going to have to restructure this. Hey, Cuttlefish. So it is on achievement run. Put that up here. If is on achievement run and the ID is equal to that, set the cooldown equal to that thing. That should work fine. And I can just delete all this stuff, right? Yeah, I don't know why this didn't work though. Also, I bet Idle Cub beat story mode, and that means that it was in like 3 hours and 20 minutes. Jeez, maybe my estimate of 4 to 5 hours is off. Then again, he is an idle game expert. All right, is this working? Will you stealth? Huh, nice. Yeah, so I don't know why it didn't work the first time then. I wonder if this trivializes the battle too, because now what we can do is we can reset all the skills and put the points into here, here, and maybe like that. Yeah, and now we try fighting the Yeti. So now the rogue is guaranteed to cloak. They're going to cloak way more often than they normally do. They died that time. Their chance to dodge is 30%. So a lot of the time, it's not going to work. So let's just speed this up. Yeah, so they dodge once there. They need to be attacked first. Okay, so this is still very hard to win this way. Because the rogue needs to get hit first, so there's a 50% chance, and then there's a 30% chance that they dodge. So there's a 15% chance that they absorb the first hit. And that needs to happen because otherwise the mage won't be able to do damage. What are the mage's skills? Yeah, the mage's skills are exactly what they need to be. And even then, we still don't stand a chance here. How long does it last? Well, in this case, it's like 7 seconds, I think. Yeah. So you'll use it once at the 4.4 second mark, and then it'll kick off for 7 seconds. And then you'll use it again at the 4.4 second mark, and you'll have a 60% chance to dodge. So if you can manage to survive a couple of these, you will end up stacking the chance to dodge. But it won't matter because as soon as the mage is targeted, they'll die immediately. So yeah, this is like hardly a help. Which means I might have done all this for nothing. Hey, Dark. Starting to think Rogue Archer is better combo. Yeah, but this is for the achievement. You have to use the Rogue and the Mage. So this was me trying to figure out, like, okay, if you put all your points into the Rogue, how would you win? And unfortunately, it just doesn't help. We could fudge this a little bit more and make it so that the frozen debuff isn't as bad in this case. Like, I could cut Delta and... What is the Delta? It's just 2. I don't know why I passed that in. Should just be like some private const float cooldown, additional cooldown increase, yeah. And then just don't pass this in here. Makes this a little bit cleaner. Change this to cooldown increase. Put a space there if we haven't already, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I think what we need to do is maybe not nerf the rogue as much in that case. Where'd that go? Cooldown increase. If is on achievement run. Else if active ability dot ID is equal to quick strike. Active ability dot cooldown minus equal cooldown increase divided by 2. All right. Yeah, this is definitely me cheating for the player to make it so this achievement isn't obnoxious. And even then, I still think it's going to be too hard to do. Hey, Mr. D-Boy. You were just streaming this morning, right? How'd it go? Cake's waiting room or something? I guess Cakes came online. All right, so yeah, the rogue is doing a ton more damage now. And they might actually win. Because they're in perma stealth. Okay, they did win. So the question is, do we stick with this? Because this is like super cheating. Super de-duper D cheating. Still doing some playtesting or just achievements? So this one in particular was, we have an achievement. I have this written down. Yeah, we have an achievement which is beat the game with just the rogue and the mage. But the way that the Yeti works is that it auto kills whomever it attacks. But the rogue has a dodge ability, but the Yeti freezes them so that they can't use it. So that there's a 0% chance to dodge for this battle. So it will kill one character and then kill the other character and you lose. So the only way to win this fight is to get the mage to be like super powerful. So the amount of damage they do is enough to overcome the like very short battle time. The problem is you don't know that this is going to be the brick wall in the game when you start the run. So it's kind of unfun if you were like, oh, I put all my stuff into the rogue and I'm just not doing anything. It's pretty tedious. So we're making it so that, and I'm not totally sure I want to check this in, but we're making it so that we're just cheating for you. So the rogue gets like way better when you are on this achievement run. And yeah, it's kind of cheating. Give them a convenient freeze immunity, but it's only in the case that you're on this achievement run. If you're not, then they should just be normal. In fact, I should probably test this. So if we go unlock all the adventurers and then throw another character into the battle, the rogue will now not be able to use stealth before the first execute. So now they're actually frozen. Yeah, so the rogue did not stealth yet. They stealth 2 seconds later. And they're not attacking very quickly either. So yeah, this seems like it's working. It should also work if it's just the rogue against the Yeti, but you stand no chance in that case. Like, the Yeti just has an increasing chance to execute every single time. Yeah, so like there, we just died in one hit. Keep trying endlessly until they get lucky, right? Well, the alternative is for them to eventually get so powerful that even the rogue can kill the Yeti in like one hit. But that's like crazy. The Yeti has 12,000 life. And as an example here, with like a decent amount of grinding, Quick Strike does 91 damage. So you have to get it to do 12,000 damage. Now, granted, they have crit, which could make it multiply by 4, so they could do 364 damage. And they have this, which can increase their power, but that never triggered before this. So they could bump it to whatever else, I don't know, 700 damage or something. But yeah, you'd find it hard to get to 12,000. Drop loot to give freeze immunity. That sounds an awful lot like equipment. Anyway, neither would be obvious to the player and would likely just be frustrating. He said, yeah. And also, it's not fun. I think if you're like, if in any game you have a party of, let's say, like 4 adventurers, and the trick is to level one of them a ton. If it's not obvious to you that that's what's happening, like if there's a fight where it says, hey, this is all about healing or something, but Skeleseller, it's just not obvious to people, I think. They don't read the tooltips that much. All right, so yeah, we do this stuff to modify the ability. We know this is an active ability here. So what I should do is this. I should say, if is on achievement run, cheat for achievement run, active ability. Yeah. That way I can put the comment on here. Cheat for achievement run. Okay, now this goes over here. We have an achievement in the game which requires you to beat the game using only the rogue and mage. However, the Yeti is kind of a brick wall for that run, and it's even worse if you put all of your treasure into all of your treasure into the rogue, since you never get a chance to use Cloak of Shadows. As a result, we fiddle with the rogues' cooldowns to give them a chance to dodge and to allow quick strike to do a non-piddly amount of damage. We never tell the player this. Excuse me. Hey, wait a second. Can't we tell in the battle system? Don't we have access to the town? We do. It's protected, though. Okay, I was going to say we could check this in bone mode, but I don't think it matters. In bone mode, what are the odds that you choose with just the rogue and the... well, actually, it's non-zero. Okay, maybe we should check that. Yeah, we probably should check that. But it's to benefit them. Yeah, so the is on achievement run should definitely check to see if they're in town. And for that, what we can do is we can get C.adventurer. So if town component dot... We check to see if C is null, right? Yeah, so town component dot get town C.adventurer dot get challenge, or is challenge mode? Challenge mode? Get gameplay mode? Gameplay mode. Yeah. So now this will only work in story mode. Let's go try it one more time. I want to watch these videos. Are they streaming in the Skeleseller category? They are. Look at that. It's beautiful. I'm going to take a picture. Save. Have we seen wishlist start to shoot up? Not yet. I'm telling you, when we refresh this page and this changes, it's going to change by probably quite a lot. Unless Idle Cub hated the game. Game is popping off. Well, so that's not the... I was just saying Idle Cub just made a video, and I haven't seen this yet because it was while I was streaming 20 minutes ago. But it's already at 1,000 views. And yeah, I'm dying to watch this. But I did not ask for permission to watch this on my stream. Playing full release game situation crazy. I was waiting for this one. Nice. Thumbs up. Love the demo and wishlisted it, but I'd have to wait 5 days before playing it myself. Clicking that button. Clicking this button. Yeah, we see a decrease. Why am I at 1,000 all of a sudden? A scary seller. Had we done that, it wouldn't have worked in other languages, I think. So it would have been a little bit difficult, but it would have been a nice little joke for English players. Okay, so we're going to try this again. They should cloak first. Good, perfect. They don't need to dodge necessarily. They just need to cloak. And then we're going to try this like this. Speed this up. Now they will not cloak first. Yep. And now they will in just a second. There they go. So that is it. Now we go test it in bone mode. So we send the rogue, which we don't even have there, rogue, into the Yeti battle, which we can't do. Why can't we do it? Oh, probably because I was testing something. Yeah, let's just start a new run then. All right, rogue into Yeti battle done. All right, whoops, I just closed that. Yeah, perfect. Good, good, good. This is why I'm saying I hate this game. You should not waste your money. The title is clickbait. Imagine your ninja tank adventure here. That's kind of like the rogue and not quite like mushy, I guess, but sort of like mushy. Okay, so this looks a lot better. I like that. Yeah, okay, good. Wait, does this happen multiple times? No, because no, wait, it might run multiple times. No, it's just for the new entity. Yeah. Why would you need permission to watch a video on stream? Is this a sort of new thing? This is just how copyright works. Yeah. Like you can't rebroadcast someone else's content, whether it's music or their video or whatever, any of that, without their permission. A lot of times people do it anyway, and just people don't care enough to go pursue legal action, but I try to keep things above board here. All right, nice. Okay, so we just don't want to check that part in. Got it, got it, got it. Hey, Flair. Where did you say? Oh, there it is. My motivation's in the gutter, so I'm here for a refill. Yeah, you got this. +1. Make the special achievement, or make the, what's the achievement called? Let's just go look it up. Make difficult achievement easier. Yeah, so this requires beating the game with the rogue and the mage. Read the new comment in Yeti Elite Buff for what I did and why. I always thought that would give YouTubers more reach. So sometimes it's less reach. Imagine that you are a small YouTuber and you have like 13 views on your video. And now some like giant streamer covers you, right? So they stream your video to 30,000 people. Now you have 14 views. Now, in this case, you'd probably argue that like, well, of the 30,000 people, if they liked your content, they might go subscribe. So you'll probably get some residual effect from this. But imagine if instead they were just like, here's a link to that video for my 30,000 people. And now not only do you get the residual effect you would have gotten, but you also get the views. It's a funny thought to be mad at the developer for streaming your stream. Hey, Grandra. Well, in this case, I don't know with Idle Cub, but with other people, they sometimes do have explicit warnings saying like, do not put my content on your channel. Also, actually, literally just what, 2 days ago or something, I posted this on the Show and Tell channel. Someone had copy pasted the Skeleseller trailer onto their YouTube channel. And I found it within half an hour and asked them via a comment like, hey, please remove this. You didn't do anything transformative here. And they removed the video. But they also uploaded like 14 other indie games trailers. And I don't know what their angle is there, but like they shouldn't have done any of that. And probably I should have just submitted a copyright thing so that their channel would eventually get taken down. Because it's like, look, if you want to ask people for permission and then do that, if they grant you permission, who am I to say that you shouldn't do it, right? Like people should be able to consent to that stuff. So when you do that without consent, then I think there's a gigantic problem, which is why, like I said, I'm not going to be streaming these other people's videos, except for possibly Velhearts, because I did ask for permission. They're hoping you won't notice. Well, maybe that's part of it, but like, what's the goal beyond that? So suppose I don't notice. Is it to eventually get the channel to be huge and get like money off of the trailers or something? Because I'm pretty sure the way YouTube works, and I don't know this because I'm not a big enough YouTuber, but if you submit a copyright strike, I think you have a claim to their revenue. And I think it's probably retroactive to some extent. And YouTube, I do know this part, when someone just wholesale copies your video, it tells you, hey, this channel copied your video. And it tells you pretty quickly too. So like at best, they could maybe get 1 day of revenue off the video. That person uploading your videos on their channel. Yeah, that I think was just like a scam or a bot or something. I think they were just copying a bunch of people's videos to make it look like they have legitimate content. And then people looking at a glance would be like, oh, this person's actually making videos, or that's who they are, or something like that. But yeah, man, I forgot about that until you mentioned it. All right, so check that in. This is good. I had that thought in the shower, so we've done that. Maybe make it so customers desire items slightly more frequently in bone mode. There's like a can seek specific item. Sorry, I'm checking on Twitch. I want to see. Okay, from the thumbnail, Yagamoth has unlocked 9 adventures at this point. Crazy. And has this kicked in yet? No, not yet. Hey, Sarah. I've seen people steal a lot of games from demos, replace the logos. then upload it in other stores. Yeah, I think that's nuts. What was your best marketing strategy for this game? So the most effective thing was having other YouTubers cover it. And the biggest ones who did, I didn't reach out to in the first place. It's not that I wouldn't have, it's just that I didn't yet. And they just covered it anyway. So the most effective thing was out of my control, sort of. And you could sort of boil it down to like make a game that was appealing enough for them to find and want to cover. But as far as me personally, I think it's some amount of outreach and some amount of like making, I don't know, TikTok videos. I made a video about how there's sheet music in the game and it got like, I don't know, 75,000 views on TikTok. That was pretty good. I made another video talking about some like minor thing in the tutorial that I did that was kind of snarky and that got like 40,000 views. How'd they find the game from Next Fest? I'm not totally sure. Yeah, I'm not totally sure. I think in the case of Idle Cub, I suspect that he's going on Steam and looking for just idler games that are new on the market, because he covers quite a lot of games that I've just never heard of and I've looked into, and they don't have any buzz yet whatsoever. So like this new incremental game just dropped. I don't know what game this is. It shows there, Oath of Return. This looks like it's polished enough to be something big, but some of these games are like, there's still a demo. They're not doing very well on Steam just yet, and he covers them. So he's got to have some pipeline for finding that stuff. Could also be the outreach you did ended up spreading others. Yes, exactly. And actually, this is something that just happened to me. So I reached out to Yagamoth, who's playing the game right now. Yagamoth is friends with Velhart, who's also playing the game right now. Velhart contacted McQueeb, and I contacted someone named Alzarath, who also told me about McQueeb. So then I sent the key to McQueeb yesterday. He's probably going to be streaming the game today. But like, yeah, so I actually got to follow how this spread over here. Like, and also McQueeb knows Yagamoth too, apparently. And yeah, influencers who are connected to one another will talk to each other about the games that they like. Is the price already locked for this game? Yeah, it's going to be $15 at launch with a 15% discount. Okay, so make it so customers desire items a little bit more. We have can seek, and we have a chance to want specific items. Here's what I was thinking. We have a 5% chance. I was thinking of bumping this to like a 5.5% chance. So just a tiny bit more in bone mode so that there's just slightly more that you can do. Manually, at least. But I'm not totally sure how I feel about that. Does this just store the town in here? It stores it in a town component, which I guess fetching that is not too crazy. It's all constant time stuff, right? Although we probably get the town somewhere over here, right? Yeah. Magnus. So Idle Cup has a new video up. Yep. Hey, monkeys. Yeah, I saw that too. I am waiting for what I expect to happen is when I refresh this, the next time we see this number jump, it's going to jump by more than what it normally jumps by. And okay, there. So it went up by 14. That's the first little bump from having that video up for like half an hour. I think after people have had a chance to watch this, especially over the next week or so, should result in a lot more wish lists and hopefully some sales when it launches. 14 is a big number, especially if it's the start of a curve. It's going to rise dramatically. So I'm thinking of increasing this. Handle not at shop. Do we have the town here already? We do. And it's only ever done from there. So yeah, let's just take in the town. Town. So what I'm going to do here is change this to just a float and say town.gameplay mode.is challenge mode. Give a very slightly higher chance to want a specific item in bone mode so that players have more that they can do manually. Yeah, people haven't finished the video yet. Yeah. All right, now the other question is, if we're in bone mode, we don't need to compute this every single time. We could compute this over here. Private float chance to want specific item 0.05 F. And when we enter this state, we can say chance to want specific item. Let's do this. Private cons float chance to want specific item in story mode and in bone mode. And sure, we can set it to that. It doesn't really matter. There we go. And then down here, instead of passing in the town, delete that, delete this, set this to this thing. In fact, just don't even use it. All right, there. Now there's no performance impact. Not that there was a big one anyway, but yeah. We give a very slightly higher chance. Cool. Hey, human puppet. Days until Adam becomes famous. I don't think it's gonna happen. Also, watching how Cakes has been streaming so much since the launch of his game makes me think that we are not in the clear for me taking a break. I'm good for him. I'm really happy for his success and everything. But I think a lot of people expect that, like, oh, I launched a game, I can take a breather now. He has not had a breather. He's been streaming a lot. He's been working a lot. And I'm like, maybe that's the blueprint that I need to follow. And I'm not thrilled about following that. Because I was thinking Tuesday would be the light at the end of the tunnel. He gives the first bone mode scenario a shot at the end. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. Also, way to spoiler that text. I don't get to breathe even after the release. When do I get to breathe then? I think you're supposed to breathe before the release a little bit and then prep for it being a bit of a grind at launch time. Hey, All Moist. Working sometimes is so overrated. It is sometimes so overrated. And then other times it's rated. I think it's good. Just keep grinding, no breaks. The old question, are we more afraid of failing or succeeding? Yeah, I'm more afraid of failing for sure. I don't think that success would lead to something bad here. So, and I think there are different levels of it. Like the minimum level is to cover the costs of the game, which, like I said, would probably be like 8,500 sales. The like reasonable target would be to make, make more than minimum wage, which would probably be like 20,000 sales. And then anything above that is great. I think where it starts to be interesting is like, it's going to sound bad. By the way, I'm talking about monetary success and sales and wish lists and everything. This is not the only lens through which I view the world. And I hope that my, many years of making games on Twitch has shown that. But here's a thought that I've had, which is that the greatest thing would be income that is more than my prior job. Because I could have just stayed at my job for 2 years and then made a bunch of money through that. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think this is too many sales. All right, we should test this. Casey's been working on improving some things. Yeah, I've been tuning in here and there. In his position, I would have done the same. Hype has more than doubled his viewership. Yeah, oh yeah, I think I would too. And also, it's giving opportunities for there to be more content created from his content, like that Reddit post that was done. That wouldn't have happened if he hadn't been streaming, because there wouldn't have been a clip to share to live stream fails. On the bright side, I'll be able to hit my 100 stream watch streak. That is on the bright side. And thanks, Magnus. Now I can't see the text. And thank you to All Moist. Hey, retired Android. My wallet is ready. He's happy too. Yeah. I'm not upset about anything that's been happening so far. I was very stressed yesterday because I came across a bug, which, by the way, I fixed, but it took me a pretty long time to do. Where when you have the treasure room and you have keys popping out here and you have a bunch of chests over here, if you just keep mashing 1 to send keys into the chest, it would cause a failure. And now it doesn't. I think an ad is going to start, so I'm going to go take a break. I'll tune into like Yagamoth's stream while I'm on my break really quickly. But yeah, I will let you all play Jump Royale. I'll be back. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, sorry for the slightly extended break. I was chatting in the Yagamoth stream. Close the game. Also, hey, be smarter. Be smarter is the kind of thing I would type trying to type Beastmaster on a Colmac keyboard. Okay, so we started the game. I never tested this. So in story mode, how do we even test this? I don't know. Maybe we just print out the chance to want an item, which would happen pretty often. So maybe just when they enter this state. Yeah. Print chance colon %0. There. All right, so in story mode, it should print 5%. In, oh wait. In Bone one, I guess it'll print 6%, but it's really 5.5%. I'm not actually certain what this should be. Like what feels good, what feels right. All I know is that it should be slightly more. And going from 5% to 5.5% is technically a 10% increase if you're considering it based on the 5%. And it's just 0.5 percentage points. Yeah, so chance 5%. That's correct. And anytime we get a new customer, that should happen. Yep. Let's speed this up. Yep, cool. Great. Okay. And then when we load the game, should be the exact same thing. Good. Although no one's going to notice even if I mess this up. Then this should say 5.5% or 6%, depending on how it prints. Still says 5%. That is not good. Is it because of how P0 works? Do we have to say P1 here? I didn't think it would truncate it. I thought it would round. But maybe there's a bug and it's not actually truncating. No, it was truncating. Kind of excited to play. You could play now if you want. I mean, there's a demo available, but the demo's only about half an hour long. What's this one now? I should say 5%. I'm very surprised that P0 truncates. Come on, print out. Yep, good, 5%. Huh. I wonder if it says that right on the thing. C# number formatting, P0. Wait, since when is that possible? P02. Did I know about that? Huh. I guess P0, yeah, I guess P0 means just don't show decimal places. Yeah. Hey, Torque. Some huge thing. Oh, man. I am feeling it. 0.05 colon P01. Is that going to print compilation error? Maybe found the right version of .NET. 5% is what that prints. Okay, so it's always going to print the number of decimal places you put after the 0. So if I do 5.9, this is still going to print 5? No, it rounds that. What? Is this just a floating point precision thing? No, weird. It rounds 0.055 up as well. Huh. That's strange. That is very strange. I guess this is left to the system to figure out. Or no, I don't. Yeah. Or there's a problem loading. I guess there's a test on .NET 8. Yeah, weird. Hey, Amy. 3 streams. Wow. You should rub that in Xylex's face. Yeah. Hey, Sunset Night. Double and single may round differently. But it's the same code, right? Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Point to you. There you go. What's going on? We are just doing some random work today, but I am like chomping at the bit to want to watch some of the Skeleseller content that's been released. Idle Cub made a video less than an hour ago that's already at like 3,000 views. Velhart and Yagamoth are streaming it now. I watched this review from Dad's Gaming Addiction already. I left a comment on that. This one premieres tomorrow. I don't think anyone else is just going to be randomly streaming it on Twitch today, except for one other person later today, who is not random, I guess. But yeah. Yeah, Yagamoth said it's been a good time so far. Okay, so this is a slightly larger chance now to desire an item. I think we're just going to leave it at that. I think testing what this feels like is probably pretty difficult. Well, maybe we can just run the game for a little bit and see what happens. Are these natural players or did you reach out to? So Idle Cup covered the game naturally a long time ago. And then I said, hey, I'll send you a key when it launches. And I did. And he has just posted the video now. Yagamoth I reached out to. And then Yagamoth told me about Velhart. So I sent a key to Velhart as well. So it's like semi-natural, semi-me reaching out. So we're just gonna pick popularity here and then see how frequently do customers want items. All right, so we just zoom out. We're just looking for thought bubbles. I don't even remember how many of them can want items. It's possible that it's only 2. Because so far none of them. Oh, there are 2. Okay. What if we just don't give them anything? Does it ever turn into 4? I don't think it will. Yeah, I don't think it will. I think there's something hard coded to make it so that it's only based on the base number of customers. So once we hit 5 minutes, I think a third can probably want it. Although maybe not. Yeah, I think it's okay. Shirt got magically replaced, yeah. Can you play on any OS? Mac, Linux, and Windows. So yeah, those will work. But if you were on like, I mean, that's probably what you meant. So I guess the answer is yes. But it's not going to be on consoles. It's not going to be on mobile. So like no Android, no iOS. Okay, so slightly raised chance for customers to seek items. This is only in bone mode, and it's only from a 5% chance to a 5.5% chance. Yeah. Okay, maybe rerolls take 1 extra perk to get. I mean, the game is pretty casual. I'll just leave it as is. I think it's fine. We doing anything with a level up button, resizing the menu? Could just do something for bone mode. I don't think I'm going to touch this for right now. Although there is that problem with it truncating somehow. I don't know how that happened. Yeah. Boss items should probably be cheaper. I already did that. So how can this text truncate itself? Oh yeah, Steam Deck is supported. So it was kind of only here, I think. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we spend money on this and then do something like that. No, it just resizes. It just didn't resize in one of these cases. I don't know. Yeah. If I see this happen, I'm gonna have to watch the VOD just to figure out what happened exactly. It was this button getting cut off in the background there. But nothing I do seems to, maybe it's like that. No, that doesn't help. That. Maybe I need town perks to be expensive. What happened here? They cost 80. It's not like this is a lot. Huh. Yeah, huh. All right. Well, I don't know. I'll, yeah. I don't know what to do about that. Excuse me. I had to sneeze. Holding an item that you picked up from the ground. New items can still stack with it. I apparently only fixed that for the warehouse. Did I write other perk ideas down over here? I might have. Thanks, Ryan. Also, hi. Hi to you too. I do think this is a cool idea. Put a lever on the treasure shop to allow for changing auto purchase more easily. I don't know if people want to do this. I'm also not going to do this now. Oh yeah, start opening Steam chat. I forgot to do that. I hope I didn't miss messages. I don't know how long the messages would show in the past, but there are no messages there now. How many people are on the Steam page? 49? My goodness. Okay, this doesn't mean they're watching the stream. And even if they were watching the stream, it doesn't mean they have chat open. But it does mean that that many people are there somewhere on the Steam page. Probably for every language, too. Yeah. I bet number of demo players has probably increased. Has anyone posted a new discussion or anything now? Didn't know those Steam streams had a chat? Yeah. Had no idea there was chat. Yeah. Very rarely will there be someone here. There. Okay, let's move this down here. Also, it's Thursday. What did I have on the list for Thursday? Pin a message with the Steam page. Look for Skeleseller streams to raid. I guess we should add this over here. And open Steam chat. Wait, Lana's playing it too? Wait, is she playing, but she's not streaming it? Because I gave her a key as well. Can we make workers prioritize quest drop-off if impulse buying is unlocked? They buy items instead of bringing them to the tavern? I think you mean the employee discount thing. Yeah, I could stop that probably. She's streaming the game? Hold on, let me see, because I wasn't... Oh, she doesn't have VODs available though, right? So I'd have to watch today if I were to watch. Oh, she is streaming the game. Someone said, oh cool, Adam's game. I'm guessing it started pretty recently. Probably around here. Looks like RPG Maker. That's a shame. Neat. Yeah, Yagamoth is streaming it. Yep, I got Yagamoth singing my today command. I'll write this for the afternoon stuff. I really should make shorts or something at some point. So, people who covered the game. Yagamoth, Bellheart, Lana, Idle Cub, and I guess hasn't yet, but will in the evening, I think. I'd like to figure out this truncated text thing. I don't know what could cause this. If a button inside of a container is too large for the container, shouldn't the container resize? So something else must have changed the size of this, but nothing explicitly changed the size of this. This is the town menu. Message when unlocking the volcano doesn't mention the date of launch. Just says should launch March 2026. Yeah, I only translated a couple of these messages. Where is it? Yeah. So we only have this one translated and this one translated. So when we launch, we're going to change it to say that the full game is out. So there isn't going to say something that says March 2020, or sorry, March 17th here. But hopefully it gets people to the Steam page so that they find out when it launches. And then when they see, oh, it's only in a couple days, then yeah, well, that's fine. Okay. So does anything change the size of this? No, it doesn't. I wonder if this is a Godot bug. Container resize. I'm not sure. Resize incorrectly if the position or size is altered the same frame it's instanced. This has been a problem for a long time, right? I don't do this though. Setting custom minimum size.x for a rich text label will fix this. Related to this. This was an old bug, right? I don't have wrapping turned on for any of this. I don't think there's an issue really. Maybe this one has one. We don't have a minimum size. We have a minimum height. We don't have a minimum width. Maybe we should just set a minimum width of like 5 and it'll fix this. Hey, Phil V. Yeah, I should probably do that. There's no risk. Because all of these buttons are going to at least be 25 pixels. So yeah, why not? Well, you see Skeleseller as a category on Twitch. It's already a category. Yeah. It is right here. Yeah, I made sure to set this up a while ago. I now have 2 categories on Twitch, neither of which will probably be used as of like 2 months from now. Also, I had to find. Yeah, so let's just change all this. Maybe it'll fix it. I don't think there's really much else we can do, and I can't repro it anyway. And it's a pretty minor bug. It fixes itself after some amount of time. You know, how about this? Let's just favorite this property for a second. That way I can just change it up here. And I'll copy paste the 25 to make it even faster. There we go. This might not totally fix it, but I'm hoping it does. Okay, now we run this. Hey, Strawn. I saw you were chatting in Lana's stream. Hey, Chris. You said, this is Adam's game. Yeah, Lana's playing the game. Yagamoth is, and Velhart is. Although I think Lana is doing it from the software and game dev category. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think Lana only opens up her videos to subscribers. So I will, if I want to watch the VOD, need to subscribe. Okay, so as long as none of this stuff changes, and then I want to beat the final boss and make sure the outro button still shows up correctly. It didn't, but it didn't. Yeah, why didn't it? Maybe because the save file already had it in there as like I watched the outro. Yeah, it's set to true. Probably because I probably rewound the save file, which is something you shouldn't be doing. I didn't see you come in. Oh yeah, I was streaming. Someone mentioned that Lana was streaming it, and I happened to just tune in just to see the chat. I didn't actually even like stream her stream. I just showed a still on my screen. I think it's like semi-poor form to be streaming and typing in someone else's chat that you're not like rating at the time and you're not collaborating with. All right, yeah, there's watch outro. Now we get rid of this. Noise. Okay, so we've done what we can for this. I don't think there's anything else. All of the diffs should be the same, which is just change that to 25. Potentially address button truncation. So I saw it happen in some testing yesterday, some play testing yesterday, that the level up button in bone mode could get truncated. It got fixed when I bought something. I don't remember what. So it's not a huge deal. And I don't know that what I did here even fixes it. But it might. Shrug. I couldn't figure out how to repro this in the first place. Maybe it had to do with resizing the window. Unfortunately, I only took a screenshot of it. And I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, it could have to do with resizing the window. Oh well. Maybe I should have written down times for those things so I could find it in the VOD. Okay, so I think we can mark that done. All right, making guild supplies glow. I understand the reason for this, because unless you're paying attention to all the loot that drops, it's pretty hard to tell which one's a guild supply and which one isn't. Making it glow might not make it obvious that it's a guild supply. Well, I guess... I gotta think about this. I mean, we could just test some things out here. So let's just start a new game. And I want to get a whole lot of money. Save, load, then get the treasure room and get the warehouse pretty much fully upgraded. And save that. Get this upgraded, I guess. And let's get lots of loot. And then just open a bunch of these. There. So what I was thinking we could do is we have the crop shader. We could modify it for the sake of an item. We need to put it on all of the sprites though, because these can stack. And that might make this a little bit difficult. Like if I just throw on a shader here and give it the outline one, this one probably, and set, yeah, it's only showing in the back. You can see it there. Is extra line visible? Shouldn't it be going from like blue to yellow? Probably. What is extra? Oh, there it is. Oh, so I probably want the line color to be transparent. And we can make these any color, I suppose. I can make it go from like, I don't know, pink to something else. Yeah. But it's pretty subtle when it's there. Can you add the shader on the parent? I think what I need to do is make this a canvas group. Oh, but then we can't put our own shader on, right? Well, I guess we could try putting it here, but I don't think that's going to work. Copy this. Paste. Yeah, because this doesn't have a texture. So yeah, nothing's showing now. Godot, canvas group, add shader. There's some way you're supposed to be able to do this, I think. I'm not sure how. Assigning a material overrides the built-in shader. To duplicate the behavior, use the following. So we have to make a custom shader for this? Yuck. Thanks, so very sour. We're already kind of getting a test today of what's going on here? Oh, hey, someone gifted me a sub to Lana stream. I feel bad. I don't know who it was, but it was anonymous. It was probably someone in this chat. So thank you, someone in this chat. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Some streamers are covering it now, and Idle Cub covered it. So I'm looking forward to checking out the videos because I think this is going to be whatever people are saying now is probably what they're going to say on Tuesday. It's not like the game's going to change almost at all between now and Tuesday. So yeah, I'm very interested in watching this. Let me take a quick look at what his description says. Satchmo, thanks for the resub. Happy 55 months. Okay, no, his description does not have anything descriptive there in terms of I loved the game or something. Well, hopefully you loved it. I'm definitely watching it today. All right, so let's go test this out. I don't really want to do this because we already have an outline shader and I would need to make this even more complicated apparently. So let's say this is like outline 2 shader for right now. And we need our fragment shader here. Shader type canvas item. Yep. Render mode unshaded. And then a uniform screen texture. And then this is what they had here. I don't know what we're supposed to do for this. Yeah, I don't know what we're supposed to do. Color times equals C. I mean, I could just try throwing this at the end of this and see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. So delete that. Come over here. Change this to a canvas group. And then change its material to be outline 2. And it does not work. Probably because I need to do this first. Maybe. I don't know. Where's modulate coming from? times equal this times C. I don't know, let's just put that there. I'm just testing random things here to see if I could quickly do this. Maybe able to watch replay there. Well, I just became a subscriber, excuse me, but I did not realize she streamed on YouTube. I actually prefer watching on YouTube. He also streamed on YouTube. The nice thing about YouTube is that there are shortcuts for speed controls, and it also goes up to 4x without you having to do anything special. And it generally just kind of loads better. But then I guess you don't have chat. Because I can't unlock the achievement. I know it's possible. It's just not great. So something here is probably wrong. Like I should probably be using screen texture instead of whatever regular texture I'm using. Like this should maybe change. Let's just type some random stuff in here. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, this is still not working. Invalid argument. Oh, multiplying a vec3 by vec4. Okay, well that was my real issue. Okay. All right, we're getting somewhere. What if I turn this back to texture now? Should probably be screen texture though, right? Okay, that's something. What if we change this to be down here? Color. What did they put in their shader? Color times equals C. What if I just didn't do this? Okay, I see. And what if I do this like that? So yeah, I think the outline needs to be over the screen texture and not texture. That's my guess. That's sort of working, but now something weird is happening there. Do we use texture anywhere else? We do. And there as well. And then texture pixel size probably needs to be changed. And that's probably why this is warping so weirdly here. And it's doing something very bizarre. If I were intentionally going for this effect, I would say this is awesome. But I am not intentionally going for this effect. There's one other thing we can potentially do here. We could just add in a glow in the background of really any of these. Or just put one in the middle. And then not have this shader here. Because yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with this. So if we just take this one, for example, and give this a shader of the fish glow, which is really just a glow. Quick load, glowy fish. And then stop this from being a canvas group. Just becomes a node 2D again. And then figure out when the world's going wrong here. What is going on there? I think it doesn't work with Atlas sprites. But, oh, let's just try playing the game, see what happens. It looks very cool. It's like a wallpaper. I feel like I'm playing Animal Crossing. It probably didn't work, but it's hard to tell without item stacking. So let's go get item stacking. And then let's stack a couple of items. Ah, it did work. Okay, well, that's one way we could do this. And then just reposition the shader so that it's actually behind this thing. I don't like how it looks. Oh, we don't have level 3 item stacking or level 2, whatever it is. Yeah, I think just doing the outline would be difficult. I'm torn. I'm torn on this. Can we just add a node 2D and give it a shader? Is that even something you can do? You can. So what if I give this one the glowy fish thing and then delete it from here? Does that work? I'm actually kind of surprised that didn't work. Let's go find out how this is working. Glowy fish shader. So, oh, we take the texture and we expand it based on that. So we do need a texture here, but the texture wouldn't even show. I don't like this idea. I'm probably not going to do this. Yeah, I'm probably not going to spend the time doing this. But let's just see anyway. So let's say I load in a, I don't know, an Atlas texture. And then do items and pick literally anything. It doesn't matter. It can even be a blank space at the beginning. So that should be it. And now does it work? It might not work immediately in the game. I might need to restart this. Huh, interesting. That's not what I expected. Is this because of the, this is probably because there's no region set on this. And I never trim this. We need to attach a script that is something like sprite crop. Yeah, here. And that on its own won't do it. We got to restart. Yeah. So that's more along the lines of what I was thinking. Let's get item stacking and then actually save the file. And well, I guess let's stack a couple items before we do that. There. Now I can save and load. So if I want to do this, we would center this. It actually is centered right now. Why does it not look centered? No, it's fine, I guess. What's the theme of this game? This is a town management game. It's a very like laid back, just intended for you to have fun while you're playing kind of game. You send adventurers into battle, they collect items, and then you sell them in your town. Like radioactive glowing over here. So yeah, we would just change this shader to make it more subtle if I did that. I'll do it really quickly just so we can take a look at it. And maybe we want to do this. I'm not sure. Edit. Okay. I just wrote some like random trash in here before. So we could have it, well, I don't know if I even want to do this. But I was going to say we could have it go to like fade out completely after some amount of time. Right now we're doing sign of time and a mix of this and this times 0.4, which is going to change the alpha. If I have this dip negative more frequently, like basically I do sine like minus minus 0.5. It's so hard to see in here because it's copying the rest of the sprite. I'd love for that to not happen. Is that what's happening in the fish thing? Fish. Fish in pond. Fish in the pond don't glow, right? They're just battlers? They get the glowy shader? Do we dynamically add this? Yep. Right there. Glowy fish shader. Defined here, but it's never actually used there. We texture crop it, and then we give it a shader. Okay, I see. Hey, Adam. You practically have my name. In Kids Chat, you're mentioned. Oh, cool. Let me take a look. Oh, look at that. Kit just shared Skeleseller. How nice. Skeleseller is the game. Link for his Twitch. How long since you first rated? Looks confidently made. Oh man, neat. I'll type no audio, but thanks for the shout out. All right. There. I'll stay here for long enough. Yeah, the bones are their money. Pull the hair up but not out. Yeah. I'm not actually going to reply to people only because I'm going to be leaving and I don't want to be rude to my own chat here. But yeah, neat. Cool. Hey, Faith. Hey, Orphoria. Kit says you're the guy. Kit's the guy. And Orphoria, I haven't seen you in a long time. What have you been up to? It's been almost a year. Yeah, long time no see. What's your content about? I stream game development. So I've been working on the game Skeleseller for the last couple of years. You were in the hospital. Is everything okay now? So yeah, I could change this shader and we can make it stand out a little bit more and then just very like infrequently. But it still looks like a toxic glow and I'd like it to just be a faint outline. And I think it'd be very hard to get it to be a faint outline without a canvas group. So I'm still not certain I want to do this. Doing better, they let me out. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I hope everything is okay and things are on the up and up. We do still have a no segmenting rule in chat. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do anything about this thing for now. What's on the agenda for 2026 for you? Yeah, we could take the fish shader and apply it to a new sprite that we dynamically add for guild supplies. But yeah, I don't know if it's worth it. I'll put this in my stream of consciousness note. Got my first paid gig as a model coming up next week. Oh, cool. What kind of model? What are you modeling? Cool. Done with that. Okay. If you're holding an item that you picked up from the ground, new items will still stack with it while you're holding it. I apparently only fixed this for warehouse. I don't know if I consider this to be a problem. Foot model. How did you get that gig? Paying for me to get a fancy pedicure. Cool. Yeah. Hey, free pedicure and apparently also money, right? Excuse me. Jed, do I care about when you're holding an item and you pick up another one and you have item stacking? I think it can do some weird stuff, but sometimes you count on there only being one item and then there end up being multiple and you're confused. Yeah, I would probably do something about this. Spawn items. This should be really easy to just prevent, right? Try to stack new items onto existing ones. If there's no space to accommodate all of them, we create new items. So items on ground where source has item and the item ID is this and the quantity is less than that and the item is not held. Wow, the AI even automatically typed it for me. We're calling get item several times, which is going into what this. So it's a concrete thing. Yeah, all right. Well, maybe it will be. Kit commands become follow. Hey, Cat Hatter, welcome in. I had his stream pulled up just to see what chat was saying. What is chat saying now? I think it's back to normal scam baiting chat. Yeah. But still nice. Yeah, welcome in. We do game dev most of the time. As of late, I mean, it's still game dev, but it's not really the development portion. I feel like we're in launch prep mode. So we're doing some very minor tasks. Friend of mine whom I was eating lunch with mentioned that this agency was looking for people like me. Send them an email with my portfolio. Do they want to come have me model? Oh, nice. Yeah. Is there any chance it'll lead to consistent work? I mean, not that necessarily looking for that, but yeah. Okay, so this should be fixed. Let's go try it. Actually, I should just reload my save file, right? Yeah, because now I have item stacking. Yes, I do. Okay, so all we need to do is find one item on the ground. Wait for it. I'll just click this a million times. It'll eventually happen. Is something happening? Yes, it's filling up all of those slots first. And there. Now we need one of these to drop. Just one. There. That one. Okay, now I right-click this. And I should still be holding one item. Yeah, perfect. But if I let that go, it stacks with that. Yeah. I think that's what I'd want to have happen. And it was a one-line code change, so yeah, we should probably do that. Yeah. I like that. There's no problem with this, right? Yeah. So prevent stacking onto a ground item, onto a held ground item. So the what is that we will no longer try granting an item onto an incomplete stack if you're holding it. This is already how it worked. Well, yeah, the why. This is already how it works for the warehouse. And it's just generally unexpected to pick up one item, or to pick up X items, but end up having greater than X. Yeah. Lana just declared her shop is doing awesome. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I'd love to check out these videos. It's nice to see Skeleseller category with 110 viewers. Where is Yagamoth in the game? Yagamoth's got like half of a warehouse. I see they've got the key grinder in the treasure room. Yeah, neat. Hey, Amira. And hey, Alex. How many years have you been doing this game? It's been about 2 years, like almost exactly. I keep a journal, which you don't need to go look at this, but in 2024, we started working on the prototype for this back in March like 6th, maybe? No, not that one. No, hold on. Yeah, new game, March 13th. So it's been almost exactly 2 years. What's the engine? It is Godot. And I'm using C# as a language. All right, so this is fixed. I have not finished checking this in yet. Let's go do that. Noise. And yeah. So can you show screenshots of the prototype? Yeah, they're in this video. Let me pull this up really fast. Well, the prototype actually looked pretty good, I think. Well, I mean, it looked better on in the actual gameplay. The prototype wasn't too bad, but the early versions of the full game, like this is what it looked like after about a month. Yeah, I think this was about a month. And it is very rudimentary. There's this like blank space at the bottom that's devoted to battles. There were just NPCs walking all over the place, no pathfinding. It's been a long journey. Oh yeah, one of the things I wanted to check is how the wish list changed. So we were at 47 before. I'm gonna click refresh. It still says 47. Yeah, it doesn't update all the time. And it's very likely gone up by at least one since then. So all right, I still want to fix this issue, but I was having a hard time figuring this out yesterday. I don't know if I want to spend the time today. I actually kind of want to look through the GitHub issues that I have. Let's go take a look. Because there are only 22 left, and some of these are just not going to happen, right? Or like this one, I want to do this still, but I just haven't spent the time. This is like good grunt work to do in the afternoon someday. So like put the site into its own repo. And put that repo into my code folder, probably. Allow Alt Enter to enter full screen. I don't think we're gonna do this. It's in the settings, yeah. I think this is worth doing. It's yeah, there aren't very many game settings, and this one is pretty obvious. I just don't want people accidentally doing it. Well, it's not just that. I guess that's one of the reasons why. Figure out why stack traces on players' machines contain Adam's personal file system paths. Didn't we look into this at some point? Include debug symbols. We could turn this off. It would make it hard to diagnose things. Yeah, I just don't like that this is showing up. Like, it's not super personal. Volumes, inland, code, Godot. But if I turned this off, I wonder what the stack traces would look like. Hey, Ganali. Building an ARPG, and I keep putting off external playtests because I'm scared people won't get it yet. Is that fear valid, or am I just coping? I think you're just coping, but I think there is a way to conduct playtests such that people have the right expectations set. I think that product market fit is super important, which means you eventually need people to play your game. And that eventually is a pretty important word here, because you're always going to have more you can do. But the whole point of a playtest is to stop you from going in the wrong direction for too long. So imagine that you are, I don't know, like you know your own game, but let's say you have like a rogue and a mage and a warrior, and people are like, oh man, the mage is just like the best character by far. Like, why would I even play these other characters? And you didn't think that originally. You'd be like, oh wow, yeah, maybe I need to like give the rogue magic, or give the warrior magic, or tone down magic, or give more ranged abilities, or change monster AI or something like that. Like, it could change a fundamental part of your game to hear that stuff. The other thing that's nice is it'll allow people to test in different configurations that you wouldn't have even thought of, like widescreen monitors, high DPI screens, low resolution screens. That's even just monitor stuff. But what if they're playing with like headphones on and they can hear things that you couldn't hear because you were testing with speakers or something? At what stage did you play test? Very early on. So that video that I just linked above your message, which I'll link again, that talks about pretty much the whole process I did. I think you would benefit from watching it. It's a pretty long video though, but I had play tests pretty frequently for the first like 6 to 8 months. And then I opened up like a proper playtesting program. Steam actually allows you to have a playtest version of your game, and you can either make it private if you want to, and then just invite people with keys, or you can make it public. And there are a couple different ways you can make it public, either like totally open, or you could have it be where people can click a sign up button and then you like allow X people in. So you might have, let's say 10,000 people who signed up, and you're like, okay, I want another 500. And it just pulls 500 from the 10,000 and sends them keys. You know what's possible there as well. I don't know anything about Epic. So yeah, I can't help with that. Hey, ABC, specifying path map prevents breakpoints from working in local debug build. Option maps each physical path on the machine where the compiler runs, so the corresponding path should be written in the output files. Oh, I didn't know about this. But this is something that I put in my project file. It's a compiler option. But you can specify compiler options through the CS project file, right? Yeah, you can add any of these in property group. Okay. So we could easily change the release tool to do this. Is it worthwhile? Okay, well, we have two questions. I guess question one, is it worth shipping with debug symbols at all? I think it is, in case people hit issues. It would make it easier to diagnose them. It also makes it easier for people to, well, this is like a plus here, and this is a minus. Also makes it easier for people to modify the code. And then question two is, do we want to bother changing the paths? And I think the answer to both of these is like, I just don't care at this point. Like, so what? It's not affecting users at all. So yeah, I shouldn't do anything about this. I gotta be very careful with how I'm spending my time because we have like 4 days realistically. Like I'm not gonna be making difficult changes on Monday. So maybe what I should do is I should write this in the exporting from Godot. I think it's a fear of the vision getting criticized, especially for something you feel so passionate about. I 100% understand and can commiserate with this. I think there are a couple of aspects here. One is it's practically necessary to improve your product, and making anything creative requires some amount of like skin thickness. You're going to put a product out there, which means at some point you're going to be exposing yourself. If you're going to hear negative feedback, it's better to hear it early than to hear it later. And especially when you're like, okay, well, I haven't worked on it for like 2 years and I've had a chance to crystallize my vision. So yeah, when you've worked on something for 1 month and people are like, I don't know, I hope this game has multiplayer or something like that, and you never have been planning multiplayer, it's like, okay, well, maybe they're hoping that because I just haven't shown them enough of the campaign mode that I have. But if they do that at the 2-year mark and they're like, oh, well, the game's not fun, it doesn't have multiplayer, it's like, uh-oh, that's something I would have liked to know sooner. The weekend Java rewrite. No, that's happening still, where we change the game entirely and it becomes Minecraft. So yeah, I highly recommend it. Also, it's potentially worth looking into streaming so that you can get people commenting on even like your early builds and whether they think it looks exciting, because there are many different ways you can figure out if people are interested. And I think that like the simplest possible one is you like take out an ad for your vision and there is no product. So imagine if it's something like, whatever, like play World of Warcraft before World of Warcraft came out, and it's like visit the site. The site is literally just like a counter for, oh, hey, one person clicked this thing. And you don't even have a game. You don't even have pictures maybe. And you can just find out like, oh my God, I ran an ad. I paid $5 and 100 people expressed interest in this. Like, okay, that means that my vision probably has some amount of value behind it. But I think an easier way that's still pretty easy is, let's say you were streaming this and people are just like, oh, that looks cool. It's like that alone is already a positive signal. Now, granted, you're mostly just going to get positive signals from people watching you stream, because they're not going to come in and be like, your game sucks. It just doesn't happen as frequently, but it's still potentially good to ask people about and get some playtesters. Hey, Supercuber. And hey, yo. All right, so I want to write this in here somewhere. Paths. Oh boy, where do we put this? After working on it for 2 years, is it nerve-wracking to be only a few days from launch? Yeah, it is. And it's striking me a lot right now. Like, I'm incredibly antsy right now because there are, I think, 3 people streaming the game right this second. And then there is one like massive YouTuber who covered it. And I have seen none of this stuff. And I'm very intensely curious about it. So Idle Cub just covered the game. And his video is up to 5,000 views. It's been an hour. And I'm guessing my wishlist numbers should probably spike as a result of that. It's at 47 right now. Yeah, it's still not refreshing yet. And then in terms of people streaming it, we have, I mean, maybe they're done now. Oh, no, nice. Okay, yeah. 3 streamers. Look at that. I'm going to take a picture of this. Stuff for me to remember. 385 viewers in the Skeleseller category. How nice. Should refresh every hour. And yeah, I'm still debating on bundling at all, Mr. D-Boy. I've seen the Chris Sikowski talks about like you should do it, and I still want to see how this all goes. But thank you. I appreciate the offer. Are there any other Skeleseller videos? None yet. None that I haven't seen. There was another pretty big YouTuber who I was surprised they even responded to me. And they just sent like one sentence. They said, like, super fun. I should have the video up this week. Like, that was their response. I was like, okay, awesome. That's great. Yeah. Super cool to see your game in Idle Club. Yeah. He covered the demo too, and that got a ton of wish lists. It was like probably on the order of like 2,000 to 3,000 just from his video. But I don't know exactly because I don't have that kind of tracking. Hey, Seshamara. You should definitely bundle. Just got here. Yeah. Like I said, I've seen the advice. I'm still torn for some reason. Do you have any goal or dream of how many copies you would sell? I mean, I think everyone would say their dream is as many as possible. But the realistic amounts that I've shared is like 8,500 is like the bare minimum. And this would be roughly how much it would take for me to have earned minimum wage for just myself over 2 years. Would be that many sales. So like 20K would be enough to like pay everyone and myself. And myself, it'd still be like barely above minimum wage, I guess. So it's pretty much like more than 20,000 is what I'm aiming for. I'm trying not to stream during ad breaks so that I actually step away from my computer. So I'm going to take a break right now because an ad is running. So is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello again, everybody. By the way, if someone's in Lana's chat, I just sent her a message. I don't know if she'll see. I like waited for a minute, but then I needed to get back to my stream. So if she ends up responding and I need to respond, please let me know. All right, close the game. Close the game. All right, nice. Okay, so I'd like to write about this. Your personal paths show in the exported build. This is a combination of things, I believe. I didn't fully test this. Well, actually, let's first print out what the problem is. For example, here's a stack trace from what? From a random player playing Skeleseller. As you can see, this shows on each line. That's a path local to my own machine. Yet it's on players' builds. This is due to a combination of things. One is this having include debug symbols. And that's where? Project export. .NET, yeah. You can see here. Hey, Drew, 5 days, I know. I'm very excited. Yeah, Lana is playing it right now. And I just popped into her stream and said that there was an important garbage slam upgrade. I'm now realizing that there are, I think, a lot of people who do not notice the garbage slam upgrades. And yeah, I wonder if I need to do something about that. Like, yeah, I don't know. First time seeing game coding, might come back another time. Yeah, thank you, Amira, and welcome in. Again, I totally get it if this is not your cup of tea. It's generally very technical, and there's not a lot of like interesting stuff happening sometimes for months. Like sometimes I don't even really open the game. I just keep coding it and then like test something briefly. All right, so it's here. I want to get the full path to this. Project export. Project export. And then choose any preset. And then options. .NET. Include debug symbols. Is there documentation for this? It just says no description available. All right, that's fine. If you turn this off, I assume that almost none of this information. Hey, Hashijo. We've got a Steam chatter. Hi, that's great to hear. Nice. Yeah. And then the other thing is that we can change the... Yeah. See this Stack Overflow post. Also, hey, Ocleus. Make a quick build. I'm not even going to bother doing this. I recognize that I could do this, but it's just not worth even spending the 10 minutes doing it. It's like, so what if this shows up on people's machines? If this were a month ago and I decided this was important, I probably would spend the time. Firing out the Yeti now. Is he on the right path in terms of strategy? So then the other thing is what ABC just typed in chat, which I have lost. Let me go find that. Oh man, I found it, but Jump Rail does not make that easy. Okay, let me go back to here. Hey, Rafferty, is there any lore to the game? Can't wait for Tuesday. The only lore is the same lore that's in the demo, really, which is the intro cutscene, and then there is an outro cutscene as well. Beyond that, there is no real like lore dump that happens. He did not read the description. Yeah, I don't think many people would. Okay, so let's just link to this. if you do want to export debug symbols, but don't want your paths there, you could add a property group in an exported C# build. Or I should say .NET. How does Microsoft capitalize .NET? They don't still type it with a period, do they? They do. You can add a property group that specifies what, a path map? Good. Villagers you died in front of actually streaming Flash to be their god in original? No. We did not establish this. All right. I don't think this is worth changing at this point. ABC, what are ABC's numbers? 667? ABC 667 in chat told me about this, which could also obscure the path if we still wanted debug symbols. But it's just not worth the time this close to launch. It would probably shrink the resulting build a little bit. But yeah. You don't control the community. Okay. This issue's not getting done. I can control the lore. I think I get that right. Actually, I'm not even sure. Every once in a while, there will be an author who writes a book and the community just like disagrees with what the author said or what their rationale was for something. And they're like, no, this is what really happened in the book. And it doesn't matter that the author is like, no, I wrote the story. I'm telling you what happened. So I realized that once art is out there in the world, it's sort of everyone's. And so I always kind of intended to look into this. But now that we're close to launch, I just don't think trackpad controls are going to get better. If enough people complain, I could probably look into this. Maybe we could even just add an option to disable the scroll wheel zooming so that people on a trackpad would have to use a keyboard shortcut. Well, that's not how I want to word this. The people on a trackpad don't accidentally zoom and would instead have to use a keyboard shortcut. Okay. There we go. Change how this dismisses itself. Tips for beating elites after the dragon use beat elite tip, which means they only hide themselves after you beat the regular battle at the same location. They should probably hide based on... I'm not doing this. Yeah. He's now puzzling over how to handle it. Nice. Yeah, hopefully you realize this. I actually don't think there's... I think the Yeti boss is just very polarizing because it kind of forces you into one strategy. And I don't know if the player feels good figuring that out. But I don't even know what we do to change that at this point. I guess you can always just power level and kill it. And actually, I guess because of the whole rogue mage achievement, I did just make it easier. So I don't know if you saw this, Matt, but I think this is kind of interesting. So we have the achievement in the game. Where is it? You probably saw the achievement at least. It is this one, Fire and Dagger. So this is beat story mode using only the rogue and the mage. So I did this and it works. And when I tested it, knowing how the game works, I just made the mage very powerful and it was easy enough to win. But the problem is if you make the rogue really powerful, it is not easy to win. So if the rogue is like level, whatever, 50 in guild supplies and your mage is level 20, you will like guaranteed lose. There is no way to win. And the reason why is because the rogue only has a chance to dodge after the 7-second mark. Okay, I guess there actually technically would be a way to win. Yeah, there would be a way to win still. But you'd have to have the mage get targeted first and then dodge every single attack for the rest of battle. So instead, I made a couple of changes. When we detect that you're on an achievement run, we basically cheat for you and we lower the cooldowns of your abilities, but only for the rogue. So that way, if you power level the rogue, it should still be fine. And if you power level the mage, it should be fine. And it doesn't force you to be like, oh man, I spent all this time and I got the wrong character to a high level. Because the point of this game is to have fun. And even this achievement that's supposed to be somewhat difficult shouldn't be that crazy. But this only works for story mode. And it's only if you have those 2 adventurers in your party. If you have anyone else in your party, we disable this cheat. So more nice little things. So not worth it at this point. Yep, just gonna close a bunch of issues. All right, what are we down to now? This we still need to do, but we need to do it probably on Monday. I should probably write some like Monday stuff to do. By the way, is this working yet? Can I finally log in? No, it's not. This has been timing out for the last 2 days. And it's really, really annoying because this is how I publish to Steam. So when I can't use this, what I need to do instead is go to their web interface, which I was saying earlier, I didn't even realize existed until Mr. D-Boy told me about it. Also, hey, Distortion. Yeah, that is a pretty good pun. So we got to do that on Monday. This issue. Use post-launch message. Velhart's reading all the descriptions? Nice. Is Velhart reading the quest messages too? Because I just happened to see Lana play quickly and she just saw a quest and then read the items and not my hilarious descriptions. Such is life. Ensure upgrading the demo to the full game works on Steam. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have had someone who's played the demo try this out. I wonder if Carson's in this position. Is Carson still in chat? Carson's in chat. Are they here, though? Are you here right now? Really putting him on the spot for this. Anyway, I should send him a message over Discord. In fact, I could just do that right now. All right, we got someone who joined the Discord. Wave. What's in general? Hello and welcome. Also, I did laugh at this when I saw this earlier in my notifications. Okay, so I'll put this in playtest discussions, I guess. Hey, did you actually open the release version of the game? If not, I was curious if you could help test that the demo saves actually do transfer to the release version. All you would have to do is open the demo, note something about your save, how much money you have, then close it and open the release version. Okay. All right, otherwise, I mean, I tested this myself, but I think I need to do this on a new Steam account, which I could do. It's just really tedious. Wait. I have another Steam account. Okay, maybe I should test this then today. Yeah. Test that the demo progress carries over to the full version on my extra Steam account. I don't know if I already granted that, though. I might have. How else would we do this? I either need to make a new account or I need someone else to test this. I guess I'd just make a new account. I don't want to do that. The Wendy quest dialogue? Pretty dark. What was that one? Yeah. Oh, you played the demo? Nice. Yeah. I'm glad people are looking forward to it. I would be very remiss. Let's see if this is updated yet. We're 47 wish lists. Refresh. Still 47. Okay. It's apparently once per hour. Is anyone else playing? Not many people have keys. I mean, they wouldn't be streaming themselves playing the demo, and I didn't give out that many keys. But there are some YouTubers I reached out to as well. And we should see some of those videos come online soon, maybe. It's assuming that my emails didn't all just go to spam. They probably did. All right, what else do we have? Fix Steam Deck getting stuck in the battle window. I don't think this is probably still happening. We probably did something about this. What's the price at launch? It's going to be $15 with a 15% discount. And there's also regional pricing. So this is the US dollar amount. But if you're in, let's say, like, I don't know, the Philippines or India or Russia or something like that, it's cheaper than the direct equivalent in their currencies. What's the last boss? The last boss is a giant snake. Is it automatically calculated? Yeah, it's calculated by Steam. But I could change it if I wanted to, and I trust that it's probably fine. Because basically the way you would think about it is like sort of the buying power of $15 in the US and like the economy and how much people are making and whatever else, and you take all these factors into account that you as just an average game developer wouldn't know. And then yeah, translated. Oh yeah, Norwegians had to pay triple. Hey Lammy. I could tell you what the price is if you want to know, but it's probably roughly what you'd expect from a, you know, if you heard something was $15 in the US, whatever you're we're used to it. I actually don't know what the price is off the top of my head for any other currency. So I couldn't tell you. But I wonder if I should make the game cheaper for Norway in particular. All right, fix Steam Deck input getting stuck. I don't have the Steam Deck on me right now. My wife was playing Slay the Spire 2, so she's probably got it somewhere. So let's get that one for now. Various battle window dragging issues and improvements. What do we have here? Show the battles. I'm not doing this. Maybe dragging while the window's docked should undock and immediately enter move mode. Consider not allowing you to overlap two windows. Yeah, I've always been torn on this one. So here's the issue. You make a battle, and a lot of people are like, let me move this window. But you can't move it until you undock it. I think I'm just going to leave this as is. Yeah. We've done enough for now in relation to battle windows. The only issue I still kind of wanted to address was to allow undocking battle windows just by dragging them, but we would have to detect the difference between dragging to scroll multiple docked battle windows and dragging to undock. It's not worth it at this point. Yeah. Day's coming to an end. Yeah, hey Trackley. All right. Yeah, obviously the perk icons are buttons. I mean, we're probably not doing this at this point, but I do feel bad about this. Because this would make the game feel a lot better, and it's not that crazy. Like right now, it's not clear you can click this, and you can right click it to remove points. So you can level and de-level this at will, but you can't see the button changing. It doesn't look like a button. And the simplest thing we can do is when you hover over this, just like change it, make it brighter a little bit. And I don't even think we have a shader there, so it's not like we're conflicting with the code that we already have. If we look at, what is it, skill button or something? Base skill button? This icon. Oh, it does have a shader. Oh, okay, so then we would need to modify the parameters of that. Yeah, way to ensure someone doesn't use a VPN or something. Yeah, apparently Steam does it, but I don't know how they handle that. Can I give them a fund for a 30% price increase? That's a high unknown. Yeah, they've had issues in the past with people switching to, I don't know, like the like Turkey, for example, as a region. I think they had pretty low prices, or Brazil or something like that. The release will break the Steam store. Oh man. Honestly, I'll be happy if people just find out about the game. I'm not expecting some like sales record breaking thing. Um, how many games are launching on each day leading up to Tuesday? I'm curious which day will result in the biggest bump. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 more games today. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I left off there. 9 games tomorrow. So 5 today, 9 tomorrow, 1 the next day. That's kind of crazy. Oh wait, maybe I gotta click this. No, it's just 1 on the 14th. That's the only game launching that day. Wow, that's kind of crazy. And then only 1 on the next day too. And then we're on Monday now, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 on Monday. And how many are on the same day as me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11. And remember, this is the popular upcoming list. So all these games got enough wish list to be there. So yeah, right now, Skeleseller is there. And where people will actually find it is when it's in the top 10 or so, which is pretty much only going to happen as of like midday Monday, which is probably why people don't launch on, I don't know when I'm going to launch. Hey, Lana, thanks for the raid. I hope you had a good time playing. Thank you also for playing. I don't know if you ever saw my message in your chat, but did you ever get that garbage slime perk? And hey, SM. Welcome in, everyone. Heard you came by, but I was doing gross. Okay. Well, yeah, thank you again for trying it. I'm really glad. Which perk? I'll show you in just a sec. I just need to shout someone out really fast. The perk is this one. And let me zoom in on this in case you're on a phone or something. Yeah, when a worker or adventurer is waiting at a shop with an item for 5 seconds, they will instead feed that item to the garbage slime. Hey, 8, thank you. Just watched the evolution video. Really cool seeing the process, as I only just found you today. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, I put a lot of time into that video, and I think it really shows off, 1, how much work goes into game dev, and 2, also just kind of interestingly, these snapshots throughout of, yeah, what did the game look like after 2 months or after 6 months? By the way, Lana, I highly recommend doing something like that for Strain if you don't already have that in mind. It was a lot of work to do this, but even just like going back to old builds and being able to take a look at like what systems existed. This was 1 month of game dev in Skeleseller. And then this is, I don't know how much because I'm not watching the video exactly, but 2 or 3 months in, like the town started to look more like a town, but we had this like gray blank space at the bottom. Then this is the next checkpoint that we had, like adventurers actually walked around. This is the next one after that. Adventurers are walking in place and stuff. Then we started to get some UI, building stuff. The text is all really close together. Then another checkpoint, we've got some like ugly blue UI now, but we've got the foundational skill point stuff in the game. Yeah. Hey, Vicious. And that's a good perk. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think people aren't noticing it, and I don't know what to do about that. Because then their skeletons just stop at the shops, and they're like, oh, this game should fix that. That's a problem. I don't know if you said that. I wasn't watching the whole stream. It was only on my break. Hey, Steph. Thank you. Let's see. Really neat seeing all the work you put in. Has me wary to do more testing in my own game. I think, okay, so if I had to say what is the like most work in game dev, I would say by far it is releasing the game. Every other thing pales in comparison to the amount of work you have to do to actually like get your game out the door and get people to play it. So this is like the #1 biggest thing, at least in my opinion. I've only released like 2 kind of big-ish games, at least in terms of effort. #2, I'd say, is just the amount of like iteration on finding the fun. And this isn't, it's not unpleasant work, but it is work and it's pretty difficult to do. There's a lot of game design that went into any given system in Skeleseller And what you see now hopefully makes sense. But if you look at the path to get there, even, I don't know if Lana got to this point in the game, but there are treasure chests at one point, and this system is you can bring keys to the treasure chest and you'll end up adding loot to the treasure chest. How this used to work was we had a almost like a Balatro system. It wasn't because I played Balatro and liked it. It's just that I thought of the system and thought it was good. We had a multiplier and we had a number, and we just multiplied those two things together. And then there was a multiplier key and a number key. So you might have 3 times 4, meaning you get 12 items out of it, which means that if you had a multiplier key, it would end up being 4 times 4. So it'd be 16, 16 items. And if you had a number key, it'd be 3 times 5. So it'd only be 15 items. So it's like, it's better to put the multiplier key in this chest than in the one that does, whatever, 10 times 1, for example. And it just wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. I coded this whole thing and now I need to like recode it. And people don't see that because they only see the final iteration that you ended up on, because that's what you thought was fun enough to keep in the game, or you just ran out of time or resources or something. And then there's other normal stuff. It's like coding, whatever, art, music, all of that. Taking a few shaves before I settle on final direction. Yeah, by the way, Lana, there's one other thing I want to share with you if you're still here, which I think you might appreciate. But if you right-click Skeleseller on Steam and go to Browse Local Files, you will find some sheet music that I made if you ever wanted to play it on piano yourself. So I spent a ton of time doing that. And I don't know if anyone will ever actually care about it. But someday I hope to see a YouTube video of someone sitting at a piano playing some Skeleseller music. We should also acknowledge the role Chatters played in the dev of the game. Without Chatters, the game would have been out much sooner. The game would have had much worse lore. Hannah, I'm gonna ban you. I don't think you're a real account because it looks like it was just made today. But also sharing a link as your first message in chat is very likely suspect. Okay, so where do we leave off with this? Yeah, I think this could still be done. We could modify the saturation shader and then change a parameter when you hover over it. We have a lightness here. Is that doing anything? I don't think it's even doing anything. Why not, though? Maybe it's only when saturation is not. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, so like if you hover over it and it looks like that, we might not even need a new shader for this. Surely my chat messages have accelerated development. They have, yes. Yours have. Unknown is talking about their own chat messages. Okay, so yeah, we may be able to accomplish this using just the saturation shader that's already there. Did I design all the assets? No, I designed none of the assets except for the music. I am very, very bad at artwork. That flash animation, can we add into guild supplies? We probably could. I want to be careful about doing that because whatever we add is not going to be obvious that we added it because they're guild supplies, I think. Well, they do pop out of treasure chests, so maybe that would make it more apparent. Yeah, this is when I'm going to release your CUS, your chatter usefulness score. Everyone's been rated on 7 different dimensions of chatter usefulness. Yeah, and you can all find out your scores on Tuesday. All right, maybe we should test this. Base skill button. Let's go take a look at this. Do we have access to the shader from here? We do. Why are we doing this each time? Also, just by fetching this is not as performant as it could be because of marshalling. Recently, I'm struggling with a decision on if I want to find partners to work on the game with me because I'm so bad at modeling and animation. Can't touch music composition. But I also really want to do it solo. In my opinion, I think working with people is better than working alone unless it's a very small project. Because there are going to be tasks you're not good at and tasks you don't want to do. And sometimes tasks that are both of these, that you're not good at and that you don't want to do. Like, let's say you're not a musician and you don't want to like learn how to make music. Well, then you're probably not going to want to, like, how are you going to get the soundtrack for your game, basically? So I think you have a couple options. One is asset packs or existing assets. And the other is, yeah, find people to work with or hire. But there's another thing that's not as apparent. I think when you're working with other people, there's this sort of like co-motivation that happens. And also just kind of knowing that someone else is invested. It's not explicit motivation. It's just like, yeah, knowing someone else is there, that you have somewhat of a safety net sometimes. And I also think that just diversity of viewpoints really brings different perspectives and sometimes fixes to the game. Like Dark has suggested a bunch of things that I just never thought of that I think would be really cool for the game. Some of which have been added, some of which I decided that we either don't have the time or the resources to do. And unfortunately, I can't think of them off the top of my head right now, but I know that they've happened. And like, I appreciate that. And sometimes there's people in chat who suggest those sorts of things too. Rami is somehow going to be at the top and the bottom of that list. I wonder where Rami would end up. Okay, so we have on mouse enter and exited. Maybe this is just dead simple. Let's try this. So set, let's pick some numbers that look good in the editor. So we'll set this to 0.9 and 0.5. Yeah, sure, that's good. So set saturation to 0.9. Set lightness to 0.5. And then on mouse exited, we want to set it back to whatever it should have been. Update icon saturation, I guess. This might be a nice change. Who's going to program this? Learn programming. I mean, I think that's a pro and a con of game development. If you have all the skills, it can be really nice to express yourself in all those different realms. I've been thinking a lot about the next game I want to make, and I'm trying to think of how do I like play to my strengths. And I have a lot of ideas for how this is going to happen, and I unfortunately have not shared too much about the game yet. So let's just say that what I think my strengths are, the coding part of things. I think the music could be, I think I need to develop this a little bit more. So I've started trying to learn some more about music composition. And I think writing, like sometimes just dialogue or potentially story. And I don't do this a lot in the games that I make. But yeah, so I think those are my strengths. What is not my strength? Art. And I have a way of like, okay, how do I work around this? And I have a plan for that. And yeah, we'll see how it works. 3D game? No, it's not gonna be 3D. Basically $0 going into games. I don't really have funds. Hiring isn't an option. Well, hiring might not be an option, but finding people to work with could still be. There are some people out there who just want to work on something. And there have been some very generous people in chat. Someone somewhat recently who, I mean, they're now in the credits. So, I mean, I can't really be that anonymous about this person. Anyway, how about this? I'll just leave it at this. This person very generously offered to do even more than they did. And they were like, you don't even need to pay me or anything. And it's just, some people are just interested in projects or are just kind people or really believe in whatever project you're doing. And part of that involves putting yourself out there. So yeah, you never know. You might find someone you want to work with and who wants to work with you. And you just say like, okay, let's just split the profits of the game. .3D is easier when it comes to art. You just slap colors on meshes. I think I can't really comment on ease of making art even in 2D because I don't really know what goes into it. But I can't imagine 3D is like that much easier if it's even easier. All right, yeah, so this is how this works, but then this darkens to the wrong color. Why is that darkening to the wrong color? If you can't afford it, oh, you probably never do this on these skill icons. Mouse entered gets invoked here. Is this ever overridden? It's not even virtual, is it? It is protected, but nothing overrides it. And there's no reason for it to even be protected. So yeah, I think it's just that nothing calls dark an icon. Can't afford. Maybe if I had a skill point, it wouldn't do that. No, I do have a skill point though. Huh. Strange. I don't recognize the code editor. It is VS Code. Feels like indie dev is built on a lot of goodwill. Most people start without much of a budget, I'd imagine. Yeah, I agree. And this is actually one of the things where I feel like there's a level of success you can have from a game where it puts you in this awkward territory. Like, imagine if I made $0 from Skeleseller. I think there'd still be the same level of goodwill in the community. But now imagine if I made like $50 million. Like people, and rightfully so, I'm not saying that this should happen, but people probably wouldn't be like, oh, let me work for free on the game or something like that. So where does this start changing? Because there's some amount of money you could make where it's like, you can't really afford to hire people. Like, let's say I made $100,000. And again, remember, this is over the course of 2 years. Like, that's $50,000 per year, which, like I said, is a little bit above minimum wage where I live. I'm not saying this is, there's no other commentary here than just like, that's roughly minimum wage. So it's like, that's not enough to hire another developer. That's not enough to hire an artist for a year. But people would probably look at that and be like, oh, he had a successful game. So like, he should pay everyone up front. It's not necessarily possible. Only 50 million? Hey, Phil. Yeah, I think game jams are good ways to find those people. Hi, bunnies. Yeah. All right. So yeah, just guessing that darken icon never got hit over here unless you... Wait, no, we're not leveled up. Oh, that's why. So then this does work probably. No, it's darkening them again. I don't fully understand that. Yeah, I don't fully understand that. But yeah, I think we could do this pretty cheaply if I just don't have them darken again. So what does call this? Update icon saturation, which is done when you update the cost and when the currency changes, which probably doesn't ever happen for these buttons. Let's take a look. No, it does not. So yeah, darken was just never called on this. Yeah, thank you, Phil, for your vote of confidence. In the same spot, couldn't distinguish my art from art made from a second grader. I think this is where there's an interesting opportunity, though. Like, you could decide, hey, I want to get better at that. And it all comes down to how do you want to spend your time. And also, I think if you are going to set out to make a game, and let's say you divide it into, I don't know, let's just say even like 33% code and art and music. And it's not. Most games are going to be more of one or the other. But if it was this and you didn't have, let's say, art as a skill and you didn't have music as a skill, it's like, well, now you need to not only triple your development time by doing it yourself, but you also then need to go learn these skills, which probably takes, you know, on the order of years, or at least many months. Yeah. Animation will end me. Yeah. Yeah, when you watch professional artists, like there are a lot of other artistic streamers on Twitch, and sometimes they only do art. And then you look at an animation they made and you're like, wow, that's really good. And then you ask how long it takes, and they're like, like 80 hours probably. Like, well, I guess I'm never making my own art for my game. Okay, so this isn't at least dirt cheap for me to do. Maybe we could change darken icon. This is actually virtual. But we do call this from somewhere. Adventure skill button. Here it is. Whether or not you've unlocked the skill. And it just calls into this, right? So it's using its own Boolean. I think the problem is update icon saturation needs to be changed. This is already protected though. Just nothing overrides it, right? Yeah, nothing overrides it. Oh, it's not virtual. Excuse me. Huh, interesting. Also interesting that this code exists. What's that doing there? 0.71? Is it max level does something different? Oh, because we changed the lightness of the skill? Oh, man. All right, I don't want to mess with this right now. You ever think of creating a board game instead of a digital game? Not really, no. I'm not too much of a board game person. Honestly, when I pursue video games, I want to shut my brain off. So the games that I'm playing right now are the finals, Slay the Spire 2, and some amount of Diablo 2 because they just came out of the expansion. These two games are very much like turn your brain off. Or at least in the finals, it's more like in the moment reacting to things. Slay the Spire 2 is very much a turn your brain on kind of game, but I still enjoy it. But yeah, every once in a while I'm like, okay, that's enough Slay the Spire 2. Like I just ascended or something. I'm done now. So with board games, I think you can potentially turn your brain off, but there's a pacing problem for me and there's like a setup and cleanup problem. And we have the Slay the Spire board game, which my wife loves. And I've played it a few times, and admittedly, I'm mostly playing it because I love my wife. I like Slay the Spire a lot as well, but just the board game version of it is not as convenient as the video game version. So now that Slay the Spire 2 has co-op, we played that. And that's been nice. Because then it's the best of both worlds. Except for not really, I guess. Because a lot of people play board games so that they can be away from a screen. People still play the finals? Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I like it. Still the finals? You didn't migrate to Arc? I have like zero interest in Arc Raiders. I don't know what it is. I like it hasn't even crossed my mind to buy the game or to play it or anything. I watched someone play it for like 10 minutes and I thought, man, this is not the game for me. All right, so anyway, what I've learned here is that this is possible. So I looked into this briefly to determine that this is possible to do just by changing the saturation shader that's already there. But we would need to update the logic for how icons get darkened. I'm just not here today to do any real work. I've done so much real work. I want to eventually watch these videos that people have been making about Skeleseller. Huge factor for the board game. There's so much stuff. Yeah, and like one of the best board games I played was Gloomhaven. And just the amount of little pieces you need to manage is crazy. And it's like if someone else is doing that work for you, like someone else owns the game and you go to their place and they set it up for you, it's like, yeah, okay, that's not too bad. But yeah, I don't want to like manage all this stuff. Whole run took close to 10 hours. Oh, wow. Yeah, I played, actually the first time I played the board game was with Kit, and we had all played the video game, and we played through one act, and I think it took us more than an hour, and I was like super tired by the end. Go to a local board game club every month. They have game hosts setting up and running the games. It's great. That does sound pretty good. Yeah. I also think it's nice that those sorts of things exist. I also kind of wonder how the clientele are for those sorts of things. Like, are they generally a certain age range or like nerdiness level or something? Part of the reason I ask is I used to like playing Smash quite a lot, like Super Smash Bros. And it was like it skewed younger and male and competitive. And there's no problem with any of that. It's just, I don't know, I think it depends on what you want out of a game. Like, I don't necessarily want to be competitive unless I really like the people I'm playing with at this point. Hey, War Eagle. Thanks for the resub. Happy 17 months. All right, this is probably not going to happen at this point. Yeah. I don't think this is going to happen. And I don't think it's going to happen. Just leave it at that. Nerdy age range leads older, like 30s or 40s. Leans male. People are really cool and chill. Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, this is one of the things I was kind of hinting at with the competitiveness. Like, and you mentioned that people are chill. But if they weren't chill, I think playing a board game would very quickly become unfun. Yeah, I really want to watch this Idle Cup video. Let me just search for Skeleseller, actually. What am I doing? My brain is starting to melt. Are there any other videos that have been uploaded? Because the thing is, I reached out to a bunch of influencers, and a lot of them just don't even respond, but then they end up making videos anyway. So I definitely want to watch Idle Cubs video. Let's see if the wish list count has updated. Again, it was at 47. It is still at 47. Yeah, I don't know when this is going to actually update. I think it's been more than an hour. Got the Yeti? Nice, nice, nice. He enjoys a lot. I'm very glad to hear that. Oh yeah, Magnus. Did I ever play Smash with you? Am I friends with you on Switch? There are people I'm friends with on the Switch that I met through Leftjust's stream that I just do not recognize the names anymore because they didn't match their Twitch names. Don't think we did? Okay, yeah. Is this working yet? Still no. It's probably a client issue, not a server issue. So me running this is never going to fix this until they update it. I am so looking forward to seeing this. There's nothing stopping me from just ending the stream now and going and checking it out. Which, by the way, when we do end the stream, I'm going to raid one of the people who's playing Skeleseller. Which is currently probably Yagamoth and Belheart. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yagamoth has all the adventurers. Building up their town. Nice, nice, nice. All right, what else can we do? I should probably push the new version. Have I done anything important? I don't know what I've even done today. Let's push this and go take a look at it on GitHub. I know I can look at my terminal, but I want to just see it here. Oh, cool, Magnus. Yeah. Change boss item values. I didn't push after this, did I? I don't think I did. No, I don't think I did any of this. Wait, that's not possible, though. I must have. Okay, let's go find out when I push this. Does any of this even impact the demo? This one might. Fix bug with trying to restore old adventures. That one doesn't. That one doesn't. That doesn't. That doesn't. That doesn't. When did I upload this, though? Builds. March 11th at 6:51 p.m. Oh, right. I did this just before I stopped for the day. So the release version has been updated. So these are the things we would have. They're not super important. But if anyone is going to go for achievements, then I should probably do this. Saw Lana was playing your game. Yeah. And then she rated me too. It was very nice of her to do both things. Still going strong in this flu, man. That's a long time. I hope you feel better. All right, yeah, let's go publish a new version. This is just the Steam stuff we're going to be publishing. Oh man, I really want them to fix this thing. Okay, let's do this. Figured out the teleporting items from pick and drop spam? Yeah, I fixed that a while ago. What was the cause of that? I think it was some race condition. Item, how do we even find this? 0,0 maybe would find it. It's not that one. It was, yeah, I don't know how we'd find it. Spam? Is it this? Yes, it's this. Marked as completed here. Problem is that we create the held item here. We don't set its position till this. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. This was the thing that fixed it. Also, last month. This feels like ages ago. When was it exactly? February 14th? Are you kidding me? It wasn't even a month ago? It felt like so long ago. Well. Hang on one sec. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Well, time has flown in the last month. And now I can't believe there's only 5 days left to releasing this. Okay, so we have exported every one of these versions. Now I gotta go publish them. So we need the Windows version, then the Mac version. I can just do this on screen. Then the Mac version, and the Linux version. Excuse me, man. Well, that's nice. So what do we do now? I've never seen that happen. Just click it again. Or maybe I have seen it happen. No, you can't just click it again? I gotta like refresh the whole page? Okay, fine. Let's just do one at a time then so I don't waste a bunch of time. Hey, Kappa. Is it gonna work this time? Man. I've seen it get stuck here a lot of times. But usually it makes it past this. So I guess let's pick the other files. I mean, as long as I'm waiting anyway. What's the size? It is like 200 to 300 megabytes, I think. Yeah, 171, 200-ish, and 162. I mean, this is generally pretty fast. I have pretty quick internet, too. All right, so what version is this? This is 0913. 0913. And put this on default. Oh, wait, I can't do this on screen. It goes to a page that has a password on it. There, done. Okay. So that was the release version. I'd like to get the demo version up as well because of the quick move menu problem. But I don't want to go modify all this stuff. Also, Monday, I got to write this down. Like, make sure we've uploaded new versions of everything. All right. I want to see the wish list count get updated. When's it going to go up for 47? I wonder how many people are playing the demo right now. Because that usually gets updated in real time. 55 people. Oh, man. Okay. That's a lot more than it's been. Hey, Lava Cake. Wow. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that we've had almost as many people play the demo as we have had wish lists. I wonder what common numbers are for those things. Gonna be a number go up a couple of days? I hope so. We really need it. Excuse me. Okay, so took care of some minor issues and published a new release version. Should I even put a patch notes out? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Where's my list of commits? I haven't really been writing patch notes for any of this stuff. And I wouldn't write it for anything except for maybe this one. And even then, I don't want to advertise that it's gotten easier. People didn't know it was difficult to begin with. Yeah. Garbage slime bug. What was this? Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, whatever. Never use Steam, but I'll be signing up for this game. That is nice of you. But I will say that you don't have to if you don't want to. The game will also be sold on itch. You just won't have achievements in the itch version. And I do think achievements are fun. So I am actually personal friends with the creator of itch. I would still unfortunately recommend getting it through Steam if you want the best game experience. But if you want to fund indie developers, then buy it through itch. Excited for your release. Truly hope it does great for you. Thank you, Crucials. The player spike on SteamDB looks nuts. Where is Skeleseller here? I'll just type it in, I guess. Oh, followers shot up last year. But this is not current players, right? Where's the... Oh, it's the demo I gotta click, right? Yeah. Oh, man. It's dropping now. No, number has to go up. Yeah, pretty crazy. Must be great to have your game on Steam and Twitch as a category. Yeah, to get your game on Twitch, you just need to go to IGDB and submit a game. So anyone can submit a game. And then I think Twitch just pulls this in. I think Twitch actually runs this site. Yeah, operated by Twitch. So I put Skeleseller on here a while ago. I'm a little bummed that I think the old trailer still shows up here. How is that playing sound? Oh, because it's embedded? Yeah, this is the old trailer. And there's no way to delete this. Oh man, I can't even do this on the login. Okay, well, anyway, there's no way to delete it. And they intentionally don't want people deleting that stuff for archival sake. So I would need to make this video private and then it'll eventually get removed, but it doesn't happen immediately. Anyway, I think I'm going to get going. I will leave you all with either Yagamoth or Velhart. I don't know who's still going to be streaming. You know what? I've rated Yagamoth a lot. I'm going to raid Velhart because I've never actually rated Velhart. So thank you all for being here. I will probably not be back in the afternoon. I want to just watch some of this content and take a little bit of a break. So yeah, let's go check out Velhart's stream. And yeah, I'm excited. All right, bye everybody. Thank you again.